Yes, kindly please stay focused. So a lot of attention is required. So this pure session we will be talking about what we have in completely database concepts. So which are very essential for advanced Python. So okay. So please kindly focus. If you have any doubt, definitely I'll answer your question. You can just observe very carefully. Then the topic is already I said you very clearly in the previous session. Based on what we have been just based on the storage of the data. Based on what we have been storage of the data, so the programs are what we have been classified into two categories. Programs are just what we have been classified into two types. Thus, number one is non-persistency programming. Number two is persistency programming. Number one, non-persistency programs. Number two is something like a persistency program. Please, my dear friend, require more attention. Say what you mean by persistency programs and what you mean by non-persistency programs. Dear, kindly observe this. Based on the storage of data, programs are classified into two categories. Thus, number one is non-persistency programming. Number two is persistency programs. What exactly makes sense? What is the difference between persistency and non-persistency? Dear all, non-persistency programs are one in which result of the program will be stored in the system memory temporarily. I repeat, non-persistency programs are one in which result of the program will be stored in the system memory temporarily. Such a type of programs are called as non-persistency. Means the values which we are passing during executing the program as an input. The values which we are passing during executing the program as an input and the values which we are getting after executing the program as an output, those values will be stored in the system memory temporarily. Such a type of programs are absolutely called as non-persistency programs. Once the program is completed its execution process, whatever the inputs are given by you and whatever the outputs are received by you will be discarded. This type of programs are called as non-persistency programs. Well, coming to the persistency program, dear friend, persistency programs are one in which the result of the program will be stored in a system memory permanently. I repeat, persistency programs are one in which the result of the program will be stored in the system memory permanently. That is, the values which you are passing during executing the program as an input and the values which we are getting after executing the program as an output. In order to store those values permanently, we need to use what we have in persistency programs. We need to work with what persistency programs, right? But very fortunately, in Python application development, see, persistency programs can be done in two ways. Number one, using what you have in using the files. Using what you have in files. Number two, using what you have in using databases. This is the point. So persistency programs can be done in any programming language, either by using files or by using what you have in databases. But both are meant for storing the data, right? Absolutely. But unfortunately, we have some limitations. Unfortunately, we have some problem with the files. My dear ladies and gentlemen, I said you very, very clearly about, say, whenever you want to store the data permanently, just whenever you want to store the data permanently, we need to go with what persistency program. But as I said, you persistency programs can be done in how many ways? Two ways, either by using the files or by using databases, ladies and gentlemen. But in the real-time project development, compulsory required the experience on the working with the files and also required the experience of working with what you have in just a databases as well. Compulsory required the experience on both. So just as you are the Python application developer, we must learn how to write the programs to interact with what your friend just to interact with the files, and also we must learn how to interact with what your friend just databases. My dear ladies and gentlemen, but in fact the files are allows you to store the data permanently. Even databases are also used to store the data permanently. But unfortunately, Unfortunately, we have some limitations in the files. Files are used to store the data permanently. Databases are also used to store the data permanently. But unfortunately, in the files, we have some limitations. I repeat, in the files, we have some limitation. Limitation number one, files allows you to store limited amount of data. Files allows you to store limited amount of data, where databases are allows you to store large amount of data. Very simple. First, let me talk about the limitations of the files. First limitation, as we understood, files allows you to store what? Limited amount of data. Number two, files not providing great mechanism for manipulating the data. Files not providing great mechanism for manipulating the data. So manipulating the data exists in the files is not going to that much efficient and effective. Well, another third disadvantage is files not providing security for the confidential data. Files not providing security for the confidential data. That means you can't provide can't provide restrictions on the data from unauthorized accessing. We can't provide unauthorized accessing on the data. We can't restrict it. So that means in the files there is no security for the confidential data. These are the certain limitations with the files. I repeat, files are used to store the data permanently in a particular space on the disk. Unfortunately, in the files, we have some limitations. Limitation number one, files allows you to store limited amount of data. Number two, files not providing great mechanism for manipulating the data. Number three, files not providing security for the confidential data. So because of this limitation, in the projects, in the real-time projects, we are not going to work with the files. But I'm not saying the files are rolled out in the programming world. No, I'm not talking about that. Files are also having their importance in the real-time project development. But unfortunately, files are having some limitation. But to overcome this limitation, whatever the limitations are there, to overcome this limitation, there is a beautiful concepts are introduced in the programming world. There is a beautiful concepts are introduced in the programming world. Is called as what you have in databases. Whatever the limitations are there with the files, to overcome the limitations of the files, the beautiful concepts are introduced in the programming world is called what? Databases. My dear ladies and gentlemen, see, having the knowledge or having the experience on the database is what you have in databases what you have in really matters. If you take any project, maybe the small scale project or MNC project, let's say enterprises project or middle scale project or small scale project, definitely we require to have the knowledge on what you have in databases. The mostly in the real-time projects, we deals with what you have in databases. But already said you, my dear friend, whatever the limitations are there in the files, to overcome the limitations of the files, there is a beautiful concepts are introduced in the programming world is what? Databases. But now what do you mean by a database? My dear friend, databases, listen carefully. Database is a collection of information. What do you mean by database? Database is a collection of information related to a particular purpose or a subject. I repeat, you don't worry. I repeat once again. Database is a what you find. Database is a collection of information related to a particular purpose or a subject. But I will go with more detail. But kindly notice that whatever the limitations are there in the files, whatever the limitations are there in the files, to eliminate or to overcome the limitations of the files, the beautiful concepts are introduced in the programming world is called what? Databases. My dear friend, already I said you. So that's the advantage of what you have friend. Advantage of databases, what you have friend. Databases, number one, it will allow you to store what you have friend, large amount of data. Databases are allows you to store large amount of data. Number two, database providing the great mechanism for manipulating the data. Databases are providing the great mechanism for manipulating the data. Number three, and databases are providing the security for the what you have friend, confidential data. Friend, in the databases, we have the different levels of security. In the database, we have the different levels of security, like, you know that the first one is what you have friend, just a user level security, programmability security. Some next one is what? Just a command level security. We can provide the different levels of security in the database. I repeat, databases allows you to store the large amount of data. Number two, providing the great mechanism for manipulating the data. Number three, providing the security for the confidential data. That is the reason why by the time of developing the real-time projects, everybody need to have the experience on databases. My dear ladies and gentlemen, but in fact, in the real world, we have a lot of databases are there, like so there is a example like what you have in Oracle. Next one is something like MySQL. Next one is what you have in something like what now SQL Server. So we have something like SQL Server. There is a something like what you have in DB2. So just a paradox. Likewise, there are a lot of databases are there. My dear ladies and gentlemen, it is my humble request is that what having the knowledge on any databases really matters. But I myself strictly recommend you guys to please be good with what Oracle at least Oracle. But okay, just we have some other database. These all are comes under which category? SQL category, structured query language. But in the market, we have the different type of databases are there. So SQL databases are there, as well as what you feel NoSQL databases are there. But as you guys have knows that just today we are using NoSQL in the projects most. So NoSQL example is what you have just something like what you have just a MongoDB. Next one is something like what you have just a dynamic DB, Atlas, Asynchronous, likewise. So we have some other different what you have different databases are there from different vendors. Different databases are there in the different vendors. Now the point is very clear. As we are the developers, I said you very, very clearly, as you are the Python application developer, you can develop what you have you can develop powerful dynamic websites. We can develop what you have powerful dynamic websites. We can develop powerful dynamic websites. But by the time of developing the websites, where you guys need to store the client data. Some example, if you want to take just like Gmail, in the Gmail, by the time of registration, you people are entering a whole lot of data, but all the data of the client, all the data of the customers need to be stored in the what database. Some millions, trillions of people are using the Gmail today, but all the people information was there in the files or databases means absolutely not in the files. They are using what you have in databases. So just if you take what you have in school management system, hostel management system, bank management system, any reservation, just wherever you take almost all the real-time application where the databases are really playing major role. But friend, as a part of advanced Python, yes, as a part of advanced Python, I will be teaching you about how to write the programs. I will be teaching you how to write the programs to interact with what you have in databases. Okay, how to interact with what you have in databases to perform high-crowd operations. At least in interview, the people will ask you, do you know how to perform crowd operations? Do you know at least how to perform crowd operation? Friends, learning the databases really matters. But okay, if you want to learn dedicated learning towards database, it will take around the minimum. Based on my experience in Oracle, I will take around 60 to 70 hours, minimum 60 to maximum 90 hours content is there in that Oracle database as well. But okay, friend, just truly speaking, this is a session. In this session, we are just providing you people, we are providing some knowledge for you guys how to perform high-crowd operations. Without having this knowledge, understanding my advanced Python programming database is very tough. So this session is purely meant for you guys to get some awareness on the database to understand advanced Python programs, to understand how to write the programs, to interact with what we have in Oracle database. But without having the knowledge in database, if I teach any program that is completely .NET for you, it is somewhat difficult for you guys to understand. That is the reason why this session is just like a complimentary, but truly speaking that mostly good content I am going to give you, but require more attention. The point is very clear. In this session, we'll be discussing about how to perform crowd operation using Oracle database. All right, okay. So that is what we have friend just basically, if you take any project, minimum these code operations are very essential. Okay, so what is the cloud operations and that we are going to talking about, friend. I'm not talking about what is Oracle, what are the advantages, what are the disadvantages. This session just to give some awareness how to perform hybrid operation in order to understand database programming in advanced Python. This is all about that particular thing. Hope you understood, right? Very simple. I just let me take one small comparison. Files and databases both are meant for storing the data. But unfortunately, we have some limitations in the files. To overcome the limitations of the files, there is a beautiful concepts are introduced in the programming world called databases. What are the differences between the files and database? Files allows you to store limited amount of data, where databases allows you to store, so the databases allows you to store large amount of data. Files not providing great security for the confidential data, where databases are providing just great security for the confidential data. And moreover, files not providing great mechanism for manipulating the data, where databases are providing great mechanism for manipulating the data. But in the market, we have a lot of database softwares are there. Oracle, MySQL, Ingress, Paradox, so Postgres, so MySQL, likewise, a whole lot of databases are there. Again, databases are two categories, like SQL databases are there, NoSQL databases are there. Truly speaking, as we are having the experience in industry projects, compulsory the candidate required to have the good knowledge on the SQL and SQL databases, and also having the knowledge on NoSQL also. I'm not forcing you. This is my suggestion. If you really want to settle as a good developer in the industry, which is really matters. All right. But this session, I'll be talking about how to work with high-code operation using what Oracle. Let me check this. So this is what the small introduction part, dear friend. This is what the case. But we are requesting everybody. Well, coming to what you mean by database, I said you a moment back. Database is a collection of information related to a particular purpose or a subject. I repeat, database is a collection of information related to a particular purpose or a subject. Ladies and gentlemen, if you take any SQL databases, like I said you a moment back, like Oracle or MySQL, or what you have been just a DB2 or SQL Server, any databases where data will be maintained, and what you have been just manipulated, maintained and manipulated in the form of tables. This point you are requested to understand. Let me start working with this, my dear friend. So in any SQL databases, okay, the data maintained and manipulated in the form of what you have friend, in fact, two-dimensional grids, nothing but what you have friend tables. Some people will call it as schema. So okay, but let us coming to what you have friend in NoSQL, there is no tables at all. There is some different story like documents. So there is a what you have and records. This is some different story will be there. But anyways, ladies and gentlemen, moment I said you, if you take what your friend, if you take any database, my dear friend. So if you take any database, SQL databases, in any SQL databases, the data maintained and manipulated in the form of what your friend, in the form of two-dimensional grids. So slowly we started, my dear, please require more attention. So just this is the one small table. This is the table to store what your friend, assume it. This is the table to store what your friend student of personal information. Assume we are developing the project. To maintain the student details. So assume we are developing the project for a school or for an institution to maintain student details. For student details means what is required? There is a student personal information is required. So for student personal information is required. One more table, student fees information is required. Student fees information required to be maintained. Well, coming to what your friend coming to, student marks information required to be maintained like this. Say just a student marks information required to be what your friend required to be maintained. Say for student personal information one table. For student fees information one table. For student marks information, one table. So simply, what you mean by a database? Database is a collection of information related to a particular purpose or a subject. This is about what? This is about student purpose. For one table is for student personal information. One table is for student fees information. Another table for what your friend student marks information. So simply, what we can say, database is a collection of tables. We can say like this. But technically speaking, there is a lot of content is there. But just a basic level, very top level, I'm just giving an idea for you guys. So because you are from different streams of your graduation, BA, BCom, BTech, different stream, that is the reason. I'm just talking very only top level. So what you mean by a database? Database is a collection of information related to a particular purpose or subject. In any SQL databases, the data is maintained and manipulated in the form of two-dimensional grids. These two-dimensional grids are technically called as tables. My dear ladies and gentlemen, for example, to store the student personal information, I need a table. So it's like student number. Next one is something like what student name. The next one is like address. Like this, we are going to maintain some data. Guys, observe this one. In the database, the data will be maintained and manipulated in the form of two-dimensional grids. Two-dimensional grids, nothing but what tables on. Here all, just these vertical grids are called it as what your friend, vertical grids are called it as what now? Columns. The vertical grids are called it as what? Columns. Columns represents what your friend, columns represents what your friend fields. Columns represent what your friend fields. So when coming to what your friend, just example, SNO is 101, S10 is something like Sai, S city is, S address is something like what your friend just come on. So we have entered some data. These horizontal grids are nothing but what your friend, horizontal grids are nothing but rows, one row. So one row represent, horizontal grids are nothing but what your friend rows. Rows are representing what your friend, rows are representing a record. Rows are representing what your friend record, also known as what your friend just a tuple. In the database terminology, tuple is called as one record exists. Right. At the end of the day, the collection of records are called as what? Collection of records are called as a data. At the end of the day, our ultimate goal is what your friend storing the large amount of data with an effective security. This point is very clear. In any database, the data, SQL databases especially, maintain and manipulate the data will be in the form of two-dimensional grids. The two-dimensional grids are nothing but the tables. Friends, vertical grids are called columns. Columns are represents what? Fields. So horizontal grids are nothing but what? Rows. Each row is representing a record. So our collection of records is called as what? Data. So friend, now let me start. See, in any database, we need to perform some I-code operation. First of all, we need to learn what your friend just we need to learn how to create the table. First of all, because the data should be maintained in the form of what your friend table. First, we have to learn how to define the what your friend table. This is the first operation. How to what your friend, how to define the table. First operation. Second operation is how to insert the data into the table. First operation is what your friend, how to create the table. Because I said you the point very clear. In any database, the data is stored in the form of what your friend tables. First of all, we need to learn what your friend just how to define the table. Second, how to insert the data into the table. How to insert the data into the table. Number three, how to update the data in the table. How to update the data. Number three, how to read the data from the table. How to delete the records from the table. These are the very basic operations like creating the table, inserting the data into the table, making the changes in the data which is already existed in the table. Next one, how to read the data from the table, how to destroy the records from the table. In the middle, there is some other technical stuff is there we have to learn, ladies and gentlemen. So now this is you have got some idea about it. Now let me start how to work with what you have just a commands practically. Well, friend, just already I said you Oracle, MySQL, DB2, this all are follows which language? SQL, where SQL means what? Structured query language. My dear friends, we are requesting you everybody. So take it what you have been just very serious. I am not teaching you about how to install the Oracle in your machine. So reason, if I start teaching how to install the Oracle in a machine, it will take around 40 to 45 minutes for installation only. My dear friend, just you have a lot of resources for you guys how to install the what dear friend Oracle software in your machine. I am personally requesting you all, especially as you are the Python application developer. If you want to interact with Oracle database, please make sure that your system must be installed Oracle 11.2 and higher versions. You have to go with what your friend Oracle 11.2 and higher version. Don't go with what your friend old version, because your Python is not going to support with what that older versions. Right? Okay. As you are the Python application developer, if you want to interact with Oracle database to perform iterative operations, make sure your system must be loaded with Oracle 11.2 and higher version. Any version from 11.2, you go ahead. Friends, I'm sorry, I'm not teaching you how to install the Oracle and all, because I know this will take very good time. So friends, just by time being, you are requested to please install the Oracle in your machine 11.2 and higher version. Now this is the time I would like to start working with what some basic commands. We are requesting you. Before this, please kindly notice it's a very easiest technology, but required very clear attention, required more attention, please. Friend, just I'll be sharing this complete PDF for you guys. I'm going to provide an excellent PDF for you, all this operation. Maybe tomorrow you will be receiving all the mail. Okay, just you can read and please do practice. Don't neglect, because I said you, this is meant for advanced Python. If you want to understand how to write the programs to interact with Oracle database, make sure you must be clear with this session. Otherwise, understanding Python database programming little tough for you guys in advanced Python. Please mark this statement. Dear friend, we are requesting you again. By the time of installing the Oracle software, pleasing you guys, by the time of installing the Oracle software in your machine, the system will prompt you to set the username and password. So by the time of installing Oracle software in your machine, the system will prompt you to set the username and password. Requesting you all, ladies and gentlemen, whatever the username and password are set by you, you are requested to use the same username and password for logins. But I'm saying, while installing the Oracle, some default users also, some default users are also installed by the system, installed by the Oracle software installation wizard. Oracle software installation what your friend wizard will install some what your friend default username and password. By the time of installing the Oracle software, the system will prompt you to set the username and password. Whatever the username and passwords are entered by you, use the same username and password. By chance, or else we have some default users are also there in the Oracle. So what are the default users for time being? Some default users which are provided by the Oracle. So time being, some default users which are provided by the Oracle user. First username is what your friend system. Default username is system. The password for that the account is what your friend just a manager. Kindly notice it. So default username. Some default users are also available by the time of installation. If you want, you can use the default users, or else you can use the customized user which is created by you. Dear friend, so there is a one default user system manager, or in some system, the default username is something like sysr. Next one, password is same way like manager. You can use this one. But friend, already in my system, Oracle is already installed, my database administration people. So already some database is installed for my system. Username is what your friends call, and the password is what your friend just a tiger. This is a username and password which we are using in our institution. In the lab also, you can go and you can use this username and passwords, right? Already said you very clear. By the time of installing the Oracle, you'll be getting what your friend that is default usernames are there, or else you can use whatever the username and passwords are set by. Let me start working with this, my dear friend. This is about some just a complete session about code operations. This is about what your friend code operations like. So we'll be doing this one. The very first one, first of all, listen, my dear friend. Step one. Okay, just already said you please install Oracle 11.2 and what your friend just a higher version. Number two, open the what your friend just to open the command prompt. You please open the command prompt. Number three, just to type SQL plus. Just please type what your friend SQL plus. So please type SQL plus. Let me check with this. Guys, I want to share with you. Guys, kindly observe on the screen very carefully. So this is about what your friend something. I want to say it like a code operations like. What is the steps you have to do it? Open the command prompts. Already my system is loaded with Oracle. Please type what your friends SQL plus. And after pressing enter, you can see that already in my system there is 11.2 and version is there. 11.2 version is here. It is prompting me to enter the user. Friend, already I said you, by the time of installation, whatever the username and passwords are given by you, you please use that username and password. By chance, if you are not aware of them, if you forget them, so you please go to your friend default user system and you can use this password like what your friend just to manage it. But that is not there in my system. But time being my system is having different user, start and password type. When you press enter, after a few seconds, you'll be getting the prompt like this. This is called SQL shell. When you are Python, you have something like Python shell. In the OS, we have something like OS shell. Likewise, in the Oracle, we have SQL shell. Right, okay? I repeat once again. After installing the Oracle, dear friend, after installing the Oracle, open the what dear friend just a command prompts. Please type SQL plus directly. Please type SQL plus and it's prompting you to enter the username and password. In my system, I have the user is what your friend just a Scott and the password is what your friend type. After a few seconds, you will be entering into what your friend just a SQL shell. Fine, guys. Now let me start working with some commands. Just I want to start working with some commands. Please be careful. Everybody need to be clear with these commands. Requesting you. There's a lot of content is there. You need to have more attention. Very first command, there is a show user is a command. Ladies and gentlemen, you are requested to observe this. SQL commands, guys, listen. Oracle commands are not case sensitive. First one is what? Oracle commands are not case sensitive. That means you can write them in uppercase or lowercase or mixed case, which doesn't make any sense. That is all your conveniency. You can write in your convenient way. Step point number 2. And every SQL statement should end with a semicolon. Every SQL statement should end with what your friend semicolon. Number 3. SQL statements we can write in a single line or multiple lines, which doesn't make any sense. Hope you understood, right? I repeat, SQL commands are case insensitive, not case sensitive. You can write them in uppercase or lowercase or mixed case. SQL statements can be in SQL statements we can write either in a one line or we can write in multiple lines, no problem. But every SQL statement should end with a semicolon, please. And mostly SQL statements are represents purely like English statements, my dear friend. Just even these statements are even easier than Python. Sure. Well, very first command I am using show user is a command. Then immediately it will show user is what your friends code like. Shows you the username. Just watch on the screen. And typing the command what your friend just to show user. When you press enter, you'll be getting user is what your friends are. What is the user? Be logged in If you want to know that, you can use username is. Username is what your friends called like this, you'll be getting. Okay, necessities. Now let me run. Very first one is what your friend just creates. Dear friend, already moment back I said you, in any database, how the data will be maintained and manipulated? In SQL database, if any database which deals with what your friend SQL, structured query language, in the structured query language, the data is maintained and manipulated in the form of tables. But sir, how to define the table? There is a command is given for you is called create. So the syntax you are requested to notice very carefully, create. Do remember, if you want to store the data in SQL databases, you must define the table first. But sir, how do I use that command? Here is the go. My dear friend, just you can write the command like this, create space, already said you, create space, table space, you have to give what your friend table name. Moment back I said you, we can write the queries either in a single line or multiple lines. See friend, now I need a table. What are the first you need to give what your friend? You're supposed to give the column name. Then you need to specify the data type. What type of data you want to allow in it? You should allow number type or you should allow character type. What type of data to be allowed in the column you need to specify. And also we need to specify the size for the column. What do you mean by size? I'll be telling you, don't worry. You can write what dear friend, just in fact, you can write n number of columns. Dear friend, you can write what dear friend, just you can write column n, then space, you can give what dear friend data type, and you require to give what dear friend size. Moment back only I said you can write them in capital letters or small letters, which doesn't make any sense. Create is a command which is used to define the table to store the data. Without defining the table, it is impossible to store the data. Column n, requesting you to observe very carefully. See, moment back only I said you, my dear friend, we decided to create, we decided to store what dear friend, we decided to store the student data. Example, I need a table. So I need a table. Now what are the columns you want? I need a column to store the student number. I need a column to store what dear friend student name. I need a column to store the student city based on your requirement. So, right, okay. So, this is a way. First of all, you have to define the table compulsory, dear friend. But in this context, first of all, you require what, dear friend? I need a column like student number. I need a column to store what, dear friend, student name. I need a column to store what, dear friend, student city. You please tell me yes and no. I need a column. Now, what type of data to be allowed in it? You should allow number type or you should allow character type. What type of data to be allowed? Number type. That is called data type. And moreover, how many digits you want to allow? We need to tell our system how many digit length you want to allow. Example, student number means I have taken 3. That means it will allow up to 3-digit figure. Up to 3-digit figure. If you write like this 5, it will allow up to 5-digit figure. But maximum you can write, 38 figure digit. You can write maximum 38, but student number is not that much, right? So you can take what 3-digit or 4-digit or 5-digit based on your need of application. But timing I am taking student number is what your friend just a number type 3. Please kindly notice that, my dear friend, pleasing you all. And the student name. Student name means what type of data to be allowed. Come on, respond everybody. Number type or string type or character. In Python we have the string. In Python we have the string. But in Oracle database there is a what we have friend just a varchar. What do you have to use? Varchar. See in the Python we are using string. However, you are using the string in database. We need to get a varchar. Hey, how many characters to be allowed? Student name around the 20 characters max. Okay, I'm taking like 20. Listen, this means what? It will allow up to 20 characters lengthy name. It may be 1 character, it may be 2 characters. It will take up to what 20 characters lengthy name. Again, can you please tell me city? City is also what I dear marker. But in programming, like in Java, string. In Python, we are using stringer. But in the database Oracle, varchar of what your friend just told me. But in fact, if anybody from the database, okay, char is also there, no sir. Yes, we have the char also. But there is a lot of difference between char and the varchar. Mostly, I'm requesting you people to use a varchar. What is makes sense? Give me 1 second. Give me 1 second. But you can use a char or you can use varchar. But which one is the best? You please decide after my explanation. So you please decide after my explanation, my dear ladies and gentlemen. Okay, if you define any column with any column with what your friend char type, then each cell under the column, then what your friend each cell under the column is provided with what your friend 20 bytes. Each cell under the column is what your friend 20 bytes. Assume that what is the column type you have given char with what 20. So this means what it can store up to 20 characters. But fortunately, if my input is something like what KNN. So KNN means how many characters we have entered? 3 characters. 3 characters means what your friend 3 bytes. 3 bytes only. But what about the remaining 17 bytes? All remaining 17 bytes are filled with what your friend empty spaces. All the remaining 17 bytes are filled with the empty spaces, which leads wastage of memory. Which leads wastage of memory. If we enter 20 characters, well and good here. But if we enter less than the 20 character, there is a chance of what your friend wastage of memory. But if you take, my dear ladies and gentlemen, if you take any column with the varchar, this column is provided with what your friend 20. By chance, if you enter Sai, how many bytes are taken here? 3 bytes. The remaining 17 bytes are not filled with the empty spaces. They are not going to backpack. Remaining 17 bytes are not padded with empty spaces, are not filling with empty spaces. Thus, this remaining 17 bytes can be utilized by the system automatically. Remaining 17 bytes memory will be reutilized by the system. Now, which is the best? Char or varchar? So, the person who is having some good experience, they will use varchar. But even though some extent char is also fine, but which leads wastage of memory. But as you are the good developer, it's always recommended to define with what? Varchar. Hope you understood now what is the data type. Very easy, my dear friend, trust me. But having the good knowledge on the database is really counts, dear friend. Now, let me show you how to write the query for this. Okay, sir. Just how to write the query for this, my dear friend, just will check it out. Please observe. That is example. I want to go with the example now. In the Oracle, how do I create? Friend create a table, stu info. Table name is your wish. Table name is your wish. So, right, okay, bracket open here. Then what column you want? Student number. What type of data? Go with the syntax, media, nothing more. First a column name, then data type, then size, column name, space, what type it is, number type. How many digits you want to make your system to allow? 3 digits, your choice, dear, your choice. Okay, comma. The next one, yes, name. Hey, what type of data to be allowed? Varchar. Can I take 20? Yes. No problem. If you enter the data less than the capacity, remaining bytes are not padding with empty spaces, the bytes can be reutilized by the system. Well, my dear friend, just coming to SCT. SCT means what? Student city. I am prefixing like yes for student, E for employee. I am habituated. So, okay, no issues at all. Varchar of 20. Now your table is created. That's enough. So, this is a command you people need to type in the Oracle. Let me show you the thing. Very easy, my dear. Trust me. You can start enjoying with us. Now we are already in the Oracle user. Hey, sir, first of all, I want to clear the screen. Will it be possible or not? Yes. Hey, how can I clear the screen? Before this, my dear friend, just to clear the screen. Okay, to clear screen, CL space SCR. CL space SCR. To clear what dear friend? To clear the screen. This is a. Let me check. CL space SCR. My dear friend, just observe this. I am going to the Oracle. CL space SCR. Then it will be clearing the screen. Well, now what is my requirement? First, I want to create one table here. Let me show you how to define the table. Guys, create table. Table name is what? STO info. Then enter. Hey, when you press enter, automatically line number will be coming. You guys does not require to type the line numbers. These line numbers are buffered numbers. These line numbers are buffered numbers. You don't worry about writing the line numbers. You are not supposed to write the line numbers. They are automatically generated by the system. My dear friend, what are the columns like S and O? What type? Number type. 3. The next one is what? Guest name. What type you want? Paragraph of 20. What type? Your choice is not mandatory to take 20. The next one, SCD. What type? Paragraph of what? Just press enter. Friend, just here the bracket open, here the bracket is closed, and press enter, you'll be getting table created. That's it. Before going to store the data in any database, already said you, dear friend, in the database, it is mandatory to define the what, dear friend, table to store the data. Well, sir, I want to check. I want to check what are the tables are existed in the current user. Now we're saying the system is saying very clear table is created. I would like to ensure is that table is created or not. Observe this one, my dear friend. Going back to your documentation notes, here there is a command list to see. Yes, what dear friend, to see all the what dear friend, all objects. To see all objects existed in the what dear friend, existed in the current user. To see all the objects existed in the current user, you please type select asterisk from tab. You need to type what your friend, select asterisk from tab, so that it shows you all the objects existed in the current user. Please let me go back to the Oracle. Come on, dear. How do I know what is the user I'm working now? Show user. No, how do I know? Show user. Then clear. How to clear the screen clear? CL space SCR. How to see the objects exist in the current user? Select asterisk. Better say asterisk. Don't use the star. Select asterisk from tab. When you press enter, you'll be getting all the objects which are existed in this user. At the moment back, we have defined one table called what we have just STO info. This is what it is a table. Hope you understand, right? Before going to store the data in any database, make sure you first define one table. But unfortunately, in the technical interview, friends, kindly notice, I'm pleasing you every individual. So when you people are going for appearing in interview as a Python application developer, they will ask you 70% questions from just Python. Then 20 to 30% of the question they will raise from the database for sure. Already I suggested you, having the knowledge and without having the knowledge and database, it is somewhat difficult for you guys to step in the industry, and it is very tough to develop the project, because where projects really matters the databases. But sometimes they may ask you the question here. So what is it? Can you create a table with 0 columns? This is the question. Can you please answer? Can you create a table with 0 columns? Have a bad guess, my dear friend. Even that is wrong, I expect. Can you create a table with the 0 columns? Answer is absolutely no, not possible. Not possible here. But can you define? Say how many columns I can take in a table maximum? At the max in a table, we can define 1000 columns. At max in a table, we can define 1000 columns. Please, again, I'm requesting you there. I'm not teaching you complete Oracle database. If I am the person for the database, the story is completely different now. But just this is a complimentary session for you guys to get good awareness, to interact with what Oracle database, to understand Python programs. That's only the reason. But timing, you have seen this. This is the case, ladies and gentlemen. Now there is another command I would like to share with you. Observe, very easy. Sir, if you want to insert the data, buddy, concentrate, I'm requesting you. Yes, okay. If you want to insert the data, or if you want to read the data, if you want to insert the data, if you want to read the data, first of all, you should know what are the structure of the table. You must know what are the columns are there in the table, and what are the types of those columns you must know. Otherwise, it is somewhat tough for you guys For what your friend just inserting the data and what your friend reading the data from the table. Hope you understood that. I repeat once again. If you want to insert the data into the table, or else if you want to read the data from the table, first of all, you must know what are the columns are existed in the table and the types of the columns existed in the table. But okay, time being, ladies and gentlemen, time being, assuming. So just what your friend just a couple of days ago, or else couple of months ago, I was defined what your friend, I was defined some table, but truly I forgot what are the columns are there in the table. I don't know what are the types of those columns. Then how can I see the table structure? So this is what your friend something like to see the description of the table. To see the description of the what your friend table, use the following command. Dear friend, then what your friend just describe. Describe. This is what the command means. This is what your friend describe space. You need to give what your friend just a table name. Example. Just a moment, dear friend. Yes, dear. Describe. Dear friend. Already you people are aware of it. Anything is represented in the square bracket is saying that what optional. Anything is represented between angular bracket is what mandatory. So friend, describe table name. What is the table you define? STU info like this. Let me show you on my screen here. So moment back, I defined one table. Truly, I don't know what are the columns and their types. I forgot, assuming. But if you want to know that, you please use what your friend describe. You can write describe table name STU info so that it shows you the description of the table. Like what are the columns are there in the table and what are the types of those columns and what is the size of those columns will be shows you like this. If you want know the description of the table, you can use the command DASC or you can write completely describe, anything will be fine. STU info, then you can check it out your phone. If you want to know the description of the table, okay, if you want to know the description of the table, you need to use this command. Describe. Well, wonderful, dear. Now I hope you understood how to define the table, how to see the structure of the table. Listen, sir, this is the table. Assume. As we are the father for this table, we know what are the columns are there in the table and what are the types of the columns of the, what are the types of those columns. But assume in the project, are we guys are going to use only one table? No, n number of tables we are going to deal with. But there may be a chance of getting little confusion here and there. Okay, just if you want to know the columns existed in the table and their types, then go with what describe. Hope you understood what is the purpose this command is. Assume it. Say something else. One fine day, assume that. So just we are deployed into another project. Assume it. Unfortunately, we guys are deployed into another project. But at the time, how do you know what are the tables are used by the team and what are the columns are there in the table, and then how can you work with that? So that is the reason it is mandate to know the columns exist in the table before inserting or updating or retrieving. So okay, now we have some couple of tables are here with me. Assume, but these are the tables are not defined by me for sure. But I would like to know, sir, I want to check what is there in the EMP. I want to see the structure. I want to see the structure means the columns and data types of the columns. My dear friends, you better use this command, describe EMP. When you press enter, you'll be getting the columns and their types existed in the table. You'll be getting like this, my dear friend. This is the case. But timing, just I'm telling you, you can go with any table structure like this. I'll be sharing this complete PDF, nothing to worry. Okay, timing, just a beautiful PDF, not this one even. I'll give an excellent PDF which is already done for you, nothing to worry. But understand the comments. Good gentlemen. So just a moment back, we have defined one table. Describe, what is it now? STU info. Moment back, I defined one table like student number, student name, student city with these columns. The name of the table is STU info. Friend, just after defining the table, understood that we require two more columns. I forgot to take the father name column and I forgot to take what your friend city pin code column. I forgot, unfortunately. Already one table is defined. Sir, is there any possibility to make the amendments in the table? Is there any possibility to make the amendments in the table like what? Adding the columns, changing the name of the columns, deleting the columns. Just this kind of things are possible or not means yes, it is possible. Now this is the time to discuss about how to alter the table which is already defined. So okay, so this is for that reason there is a beautiful command is given for you is what? Alter command. Okay, guys, give me 1 second. Friend, just give me 1 second. Lot of attention is required. Pleasing you, everybody. Using what is friend? Using alter command. Using alter command, we can do number one. We can add. So we can add a column, or we can add a column or group of columns at a time. We can add a single column or group of columns. How to do? I'll show you. Number two, we can change the name of the column. We can change the name of the column. If required, we can change data type of the columns. Data type of the column. Number four, we can change. We can drop a column or columns from the table. Yes, these all operations we can do. Apart from this, we can do some other operation, but in the top level, this is enough. Look at you, friend. So this is a concept here. What you can do, using alter command, we can add a column or columns. We can change name of the column, but not columns. We can change only one column at a time. It is not possible to change the name of the multiple columns at a time. So we can change the data type of the column or columns. This is possible for multiple. I'm going to what we can drop a column or columns. Dear ladies and gentlemen, first I would like to talk with you how to add the column. So for these all common operations, they provided one command for you. The command is like this, my dear friend. Alter space, table name. Then after that, these are the clauses add or modify or drop. These are called process. Then what your friend just you can write column. Then you can write what your friend data type. If required the size, and you can write multiple columns. So friend, this is the syntax for that. I'll show you a couple of examples. For every operation, I will write one query for you. So I'll write one query. Observe this one. Alter table name, add, modify, drop. Within bracket, column or column names. You can write more than one column as well. Watch on my screen, dear friends. First, we'll see about how to add a column, how to add group of columns. We'll see first. Watch on the screen. I'll show you the command. Already we have defined one table. Moment back. The name of the table is what dear friend? STU info. So I want to add one column first. Like what? Father name column I want to add. So do one thing. What is the command? Alter. What do you want to alter? I want to alter the table. Which table? STO info. For what purpose? Adding purpose. Bracket open. Which column you want to add? Father name. What type of data to be allowed? Varchar. You better go with the char also, friend. Better go with varchar. Then 10. That's enough, my dear friend. Table is altered. Now the table is what? Modified. I want to check. Really, this column is added into the table. I can go with the describe. What is it now? STO info here. This is a way. Have you find that new column is added? So this is a way. As simple as this, my dear friend. Trust me, there is a lot of technical stuff is there. We can start blasting them. So this is for what, dear friend? Just for what is the command? Just I am telling you is this is for what? Adding a column. I will be writing. This is for what, dear friend? Just for adding. Friend, I will be sharing with this document also, along with my personal document. Okay, don't worry. This is for adding a what dear friend? Adding a column. Adding a column. This is the example there. So I want to add multiple column for adding. So just more than one column. More than what dear friend? Just more than one column. Then what is the syntax? Almost the same, my dear friend. Not a great change in it. Have a look here now. Watch on the screen. Moment I define the table, describe, what is it? STU info. Please observe this. We have 4 columns. Now I decided to add 2 more columns like student age and the student city pin code number. Well, okay. So what is the command here? Alter table. Table name is what? STU info. For what purpose? Adding purpose. Bracket open. What is it now? First SH. SH means what type of column is that? Number type. Age should be how many digits? Maximum 3 digits, great enough, right? 3 digits. Okay, you are limiting to 2. Very good. Okay, let them live for at least 100 years. Okay, this is what we have found. The next one, SH. The next one, SI. Means student pin code. The number type. I hope it is a 6 fixed. It is right. Then you can see this. Now 2 columns are added. Okay, just check this. Describe what your friend STU info. This is the case. Friend, very easy, my dear friend. This command is just like English statements, maximum. But okay, don't feel that this is only Oracle. So this is what, whichever is very essential to understand my Python programming. I'm just guiding you. But truly speaking, this we have around 100 hours content is there and database like anything. So this is for what, dear friend? This is for what? This is for, dear, what is the purpose? This is for adding the column. Can I go with what, dear friend? Change the name of the column. So how to change the name of the column? Dear, please observe. To change the name of the what, dear friend, just a column. Hey, what is the command to be used? Let me show you. So changing the name of the column, this syntax is little different. So, but again, I will write the syntax for this because it's a slightly change. Yeah, alter. Can you please tell me? Almost you know that. Alter. What is it now? Alter space table space table name. But you have to use the class called rename. But moment back in my writing, add, modify, drop. There's no rename because it's something different. That's the reason I'm writing separately. Rename. You must specify the column. Keyword. Column is a keyword. Rename is also keyword there. So you need to give old column name to new column name. That's enough. This is what your friend, just a new column name. As simple as this, my dear friend. Okay. Example. Let me show you that. Kindly observe. Alter table. Don't take like my dear friend. Alter table. Table name is what, dear friend? STU info. What purpose? Rename. We are doing for rename. Which rename column? Which column? Yes, name to what? STU underscore name. I want to change yes name to STU underscore name. Watch on the screen like practical. Switching back to the Oracle. These are the columns are there in the table. I decided to change the name of the column S name to STU name. Come on, please guide me. How do I alter table name STU info? What you want to do? Rename. Which column? Rename column. Which column? S name to STU underscore name. Wonderful. Is that column is changed or not? Yes. Table alter. How do I know that? Again, this right? STU info. Then you can check it out here. Now the table column is changed, right? So this is a way. Based on your requirement. Okay. Based on the requirement, you can what your friend change the name of the columns, like change the what your friend name of the column. After defining the table, if you want to make any amendments in the table, then you need to go with the command called alter. By using alter, we can add a column or columns. We can change the name of the column. We can change what data type of the column. Let me show you how to change the data type of the column. It's very simple. What your friend just to change? What your friend to change the data type of a column? Yeah, please, you need to understand. To change the data type of a column. Right, observe this one, my dear. First, let me show you. This is what the case. Moment, we have what your friend, some columns are there like yes and no, yes name. Come on, buddy. No, yes, father name is here. Father name type is what your friend, of course, we are given. Father name is what your friend, just a father name is a varchar. But I don't want varchar, I want to change to char. So what is the size is given 10? I don't want 10, I want change to 20. So okay, so very simple here, very simple. To change the data type of the column or the table, stu info, modify. You need to give modify. What is it now? Which column? Father name column. To what your friend know? Where, but I want char. I just changes to 20. As simple as it. Okay, so name of the column, data type, and size. If you want again, you can check with my dear friend. Describe stu info. When you press enter, you'll be getting this. Check with this father name type. Check with what your friend father name type. Now it changes to moment back it was where. Why change to what cat? So this is it. But already by chance, unfortunately, you may type the wrong data type for a column by chance. But okay, how to amend the data type of the column is this is the command to list. Well, how to add the column, how to change the name of the column, how to change the data type of the column. But then how to delete a column? Okay, to delete a column from a table. From a table. How to delete a column? Say, I define one column extra. I don't want that column from the table. So how can I do that? Just you can go with it again. Please observe this one, my dear friend. Describe stu info. It's a case. Friend, we decided to remove this sh column. Only column. Sh column. Then what is the command? Alter table stu info. You need to give drop. Kindly notice it. By using, if you want to drop a column, if you want to drop a column, alter table name, drop, you need to give a keyword called column. You need to give a keyword called column. Which column you want to drop, my dear friend? SH, as simple as this. Now that particular column is dropped. Let me check, describe stu info. I can see that yes, age is gone. So okay, this is for what? Deleting a column. If you want to delete a column, you better use this particular command for deleting a column. But sir, how do I delete multiple columns? Yes, friend, this is a command to delete more than one column. To delete more than one column, a slightly changes is there. Slightly changes is there. The command is like this, my dear friend. Alter table name. Then you are required to drop, but do not use the keyword column, because this moment you are not planning to drop a column. You decided to drop more than one column, so you have to give what? Columns. No, that is wrong expectation here. You are not supposed to write any keyword. Drop. You type list of columns in the parenthesis. You write list of columns in the parenthesis. Example, I want to remove father name column and a yes pin column. Just time being here, friend. This is the case. Alter table name. Drop. You need to specify the column names, but the column names must be in the parenthesis. Let me check. We decided to remove father name and yes pin. Well, friend, this is a command. Alter table stu info. Drop. What do you want to drop? I want to drop father name and yes pin. When you press enter, now the table is out. Again, describe stu info. So those two columns are gone from the table. I think now you guys have got the clear idea about how to make the alterations on the table. Friend, just in any database, especially in any structured query language databases, very first you need to define what you friend. You need to define the table. How to define the table? We are saying once you define the table, if required, we can make the amendments in the table like. That means what? We can add the column or columns. We can change the name of the column. We can drop a column or group of columns. We can change data type of the columns likewise. How to see the structure of the table also we are seeing. Hope you guys are clear up to this. Now we will take a step forward. How to insert the data into the table. Focus, my dear. I'm requesting everybody. Okay, so this is the case. This is about insert. This is about what your friend insert. Slowly, especially the few commands like select, update, delete, and after that commit, rollback. So these are very important. requesting you people to pay more attention. This is it. Very first one is what your friend, in this case, insert. Listen guys, avoid disturbance and requesting you all. Friend, just I said you a moment back. Friend, just after creating the table. So already the purpose of the table we created is what we are trying to store the data. But how to store the data into the table? How to insert the data? There is a command is given for you is insert. Insert what you are trying inserting the data into the table. We have two syntaxes for this. Be careful. So the syntax is like this, my dear friend. What is the syntax? How to write the command? This is what you are trying just to insert into table name. You have to give what your friend insert into table name. Then you please supposed to write what your friend column name. Column 1. Example here I'm writing column 2. You can write what your friend just like column. Then thus you can write the column name. Then you're supposed to write values. You have to write it what your friend just values. After writing the values, you please supposed to pass the value for the column 1. Next one, value for the column 2. Likewise, you can pass value n likewise. This is what your friend one syntax. So friend, this syntax is recommended whenever you want insert the data into the particular columns. If you want to insert the data into the particular columns, this syntax is recommended. Just watch on my screen. Moment, we have how many columns in this table? 3 columns only. Like student number, student name, student city. But I decided to enter the data into the STU name and STU. Come on, please help me out. What is the command here? Alter. No. Insert. Yes. Insert into STU info. Which columns you want to enter the data? STU underscore name, comma, SCT. We decided to enter the data into these columns. And then you need to write values, bracket open. My dear ladies and gentlemen, especially in the Oracle, while inserting the data into the character type or varchar type or date types, then the data should be enclosed in single quotation marks. Only single quotation. But whereas coming to Python, I said you can write in the single quotation, double quotation, or 3 single quotation. If required 3 double quotation also we can use. That is the reason, friends. When you people are deals with multiple technologies, there is a chance of getting language influence. So you should be very careful about it. So this is the case. So first, yes name. Yes name is a what type, my dear friend? It is a varchar type. So that you should, what your friend should be written in a single quotation. Example, I given something like what your friend just Kumar is given. And the city is what your friend Hyderabad has in Placid. Now data is inserted into the columns. Which columns? Now the data is inserted to only the 2 columns only. Please observe this. Here is the example there. My dear friend, you are requested to observe one point. I inserted the data into which table, which columns, SNAME and SN. But do I enter the data into the SNO? No. If you fail to enter the data into any column, that column is automatically filled with that column automatically filled with what your friend null value. Kindly notice that. The column automatically filled with what your friend just null values. Null value in your Python none, whereas in what your friend Oracle null value. So but you want to get that like it won't shows you on the screen like null, it shows you like empty. So it shows you like empty. Let me write one more friend. Observe this. Now again insert into STU what your friend info. My dear friend, STU info. Now I decided to enter the data into the SNO and the SCT. You please write SNO and what your friend SCT. Then you are requested to write what your friend just values. Okay, SNO is the what type, my dear friend? Number type. Number type means directly write the number. And yes, it is a what it is character type that should be written like this. But in this case, I failed to enter the data into the S name. That S name is automatically filled with what you have friend now. Alright, sir. Just how do I enter the data into what you have friend? Just multiple columns. This we have seen. But now we decided to enter the data into all the columns. Let me check, my dear friend. What is the syntax to be followed to enter the data into all the columns? Slightly changes are there, I said you to that. Slightly changes are there. But if you want to enter the data into all the columns, listen, buddy. If you want to enter the data into all the columns, a syntactically little change is there. Syntactically little change. For entering, just for entering the data into all the columns, this is the command insert into table name. So friend, just angular bracket represents mandatory. Insert into table name. Then you please write directly values. Do not write the column names. Please, my dear friend, little more attention is required. Moment back the syntax you are seeing. If you want, enter the data into the particular columns. At the time, you need to specify the column names. But if you want enter the data into all the columns, then you guys does not require to write the column names. Of course, if you want, you can also write, but which is unnecessary. All right, insert into table name, then values. You require to what your friend just to pass the values for all the columns. Value 1, like what your friend value 2, dot dot dot. You can go with what your friend just a value n. But I am requesting you is one small rule is here with me. What is the rule, friend? While inserting the data into all the columns, number 1 does not require to specify the column names. Number 2, values order should be exactly same with the order of the columns existed in the table. Values order should be exactly same with the order of the columns exist in the table. Meaning, so SN is what first column is SN number type. So first value should be number. Second column is what STO name. What type? Varchar type. So second value should be a string type. Third column is what your friend city. Again string type. Should be passed like Varchar 2. Hope you understood right, my dear friend. See, while inserting the data into all the columns, then you people does not require to specify the column names. Rather, values order should be exactly same with the order of the columns existed in the what order of the values existed in the what your friend just a values order should be exactly same with the order of the columns existed in the table. Order of the columns existed in the what your friend table. That is the point right now. This is a matter. Everybody got the point clear? This is a case. Check the temperature. So this is a case. Everybody now you can observe this one. This is what the scenarios will be. Well, coming to what your friend, just let me show you. I want to give you some example there. So this is a way. Observe this one. Come on. Save the time. All right. This is a case. Rama, please adjust the temperature. This is a case, guys. Listen. I said you, if you want to insert the data into the column, just okay. Friend, this is the way. You are requested to observe. What are the columns are there? Describe STO info. This is what your friend STO info. You'll be getting these columns. What is my idea? I want to go with what your friend just I want to insert. I want to insert the data into all the columns now. All the columns. Then what I have to do? See, observe this one. Insert into what is the table? STO info. Then please type like values. Please type what your friend values. And after that, first column is what number. You please write the number you want for that column. STO. Second one is what your friend STO name. What type Varchar? I'm taking like James. Third column is what your friend city. Something like what your friend have done some Kadapa like. So this is a way. Hope you understood, right? While inserting the data into all the columns, does not require to specify the column names. Rather, values order should be exactly same with the values order should be exactly same with the order of the columns existed in the what here friend, order of the columns existed in the what, order of the columns exist in the table. This is the point. Now you can observe this. Hope you understood, right? Do I specify the column names here? No, friend, we didn't specify the column names. This is what I'm saying. Please kindly observe this one. Friend, if you want to insert the data into all the columns, then does not require to specify the column names. Rather, values order should be exactly same with the columns existed in the what here, friend, values order should be exactly same with the columns exist in the table. Hope you understood, right? We'll learn how to define the table, how to make the alterations in the table, how to insert the data into the table. But again, I said you, if you want to insert the data into the particular columns, you need to specify the column names and values. But if you want to insert the data into all the columns, then does not require to specify the column names. Rather, values order should be exactly same with the values order should be exactly same with the order of the columns existed in the table. This is about what your friend inserting the records. Dear all, now this is the time. So one other beautiful command is called what, select. So this is what is the purpose, my dear friend? Just a simple to read the data from the table. To read the data from the what, dear friend, table. Yes, you are requested to notice where I am going to pay good time here. You require to pay more attention, guys. Well, just to be understood, how to define the table, how to insert the data into the table. Now, this is the time we'll be talking about how to read the data from the table. Moment back only I said you, if you want insert, if you want update, if you want to read the data from the table, make sure the columns and the tags. Okay, fine, guys. Observe this one. Dear friend, you please don't copy this query immediately. Give me a moment here. The syntax is something crazy here. You have to give what your friend select. I want to give what your friend distinct. Then what your friend just a column name or names. From we have to give what your friend table name. Next one, here is about where condition. Where condition. The next one is something like order by column name and what your friend just a DASC. This is optional. Friend, truly speaking that this is only top level I'm talking about. So in my regular database classes, I'm sure I will be talking minimum 7 days on the select command. I'm sure I'll be talking minimum 7 days on the select command. Means I'll be talking 7 to 8 hours content on the select. But please, at least you should be clear whatever I'm teaching you for you guys, which is very important. So nothing to worry. Already I said you, anything is represented in the square bracket is absolutely optional. Anything is represented in angular bracket is mandatory. Requesting you, dear all, please value for your class. So take it very serious. So let me show you first example. But before going to read the data, first to know the columns existed in the table. CL space is here to clear the screen. Let me see the description of the table, STU info. Well, okay, these are the columns are there. Now, we decided to get the data from STU name. I want to read only the student name. Very simple, my dear friend. Select. What do you want to get the data from? STU. STU name. From which table? STU info. As simple as this. Have you seen that? You are getting the data from that column, from that table. Hey, here some empty space is there. That is nothing but marked missing data. Okay, missing data. So fine. This is the case. No, sir. I want to get the data from SN1 to SCity. I want to get the data from SN1 to SCity. Do like this. Select SNO, comma, SCity. From which table here? STU info. Yes, you are getting the data from that particular column. But here, sir, why we are getting empty space, missing data? Moment back I said you. Based on your requirement, we can insert the data into the particular columns. By chance, if you fail to enter the data into any column, that column is automatically filled up with a null value, where null value is what your friend missing data is set to. That is the case. Friend, just this is one small example here I'm writing. This is what your friend just a example. If you want to get the data, select what is that now? STU name from what STU info. You'll be getting the data from that particular column. Select something like sir SNO comma SCT from which table STU info. Dear friend, okay, no matter what order there. By the time of retrieving the data, it is not compulsory to maintain order of the columns. Example, I want to get select SCT, then what your friend SNO, then SU underscore name, no problem. From what your friend from SU info. But in this case, the data getting from those columns, first you will be getting SCT, then SNO, yes name. Friend, while retrieving the data, nothing to worry about the order. That's all up to your requirement. Example, select yes city I'm writing, STU name writing, yes and no from which table, STU info. Then you will be getting the data from this column. But here and there some empty spaces are coming. The reason you guys already aware of it, it is nothing but what you find empty spaces are nothing but null values, missing data. Hope everybody got the point very clear. See, but 1 second here. If you want to get the data from all the columns, then you are requested to please use asterisk. From what here friend just STU, just what here friend info. Kindly do remember, this asterisk is actually called projection operators. So can you please explain about the projection operator in the select statement? They won't ask you like talk about the star operator in select. They'll ask you, okay, what is the use of the projection operator in the select? Projection operator is nothing but what retrieving the data from all the columns. So it does not require to specify the columns. Sir, if you want to read the data from a specified columns, comment back your see. But if you want to read the data from all the columns, my dear friend, this command you are requested to notice, select asterisk from what the table STU info. So this is the case. You guys does not require to specify the column names. After this is clear, my dear friend, but kindly notice this, ladies and gentlemen. So moment back, we have learned how to define the table, how to alter the table, how to insert the data into the table, how to read the data from the table. Some extent is done, but I want to show more operations on the select. But requesting you all, friend, if you want to perform more operations on the using select, if you want to perform more operation using select, you need to have large amount of data. So with the little amount of data, I can't show you more operations and you are not going to get beautiful flavor on this command. So give me some time. I just want to take some predefined tables already. Especially I said you, there is a default user is called what? Scott. I'm using the default user only. In the default user, especially in the Scott user, you have some predefined tables are there. But it just watch on my screen. You can observe select asterisk from what you have print tag so that you'll be getting all the tables which are existed. Friend, have you noticed these are the tables which are provided by the Scott user like bonus, DEPT, EMP, and solve rate. These are the tables which are provided by the Oracle in the Scott user automatically. See, by the time of installing the Oracle, it will shows you the list of users you want to install. There you please select the Scott user also so that these tables will be available along that. By chance, sir, just okay, I'm not getting this table. Then what is the solution? I'll be showing you some solution for this. Friend, just I want to give you some stuff for you guys along with these notes. These are the bonus, DEPT, ENP, salary. These are the what your friend just a predefined tables which are available along with what your friends got user. But now onwards, I will be using this table to show some database operations because it's having large amount of data. By chance, if these tables are not available in your mission, then do one thing. You already learned how to define the table. You already learned how to insert the data. Then you better create the table, write the some records in it, and do some manipulation. But friends, if you want to perform more operations on the database, you require more records. But right time being, friend, just I will be sharing this file for you. I will sharing it through attachment to everybody. In the just what your friend, there is a something like just let me take a moment. Okay, demo bld.sql 1 file. I'll be sharing it to you. Don't worry. Just give me 1 second. I would like to check whether the demo bld.sql file is there or not. Friend, actually, this demo bld.sql file you will be download. You can also download from the internet. Okay, demo bld.sql. But okay, but luckily, just myself, I am going to share you this file for you guys through attachment. No doubt at all. You do one thing. Why this file is providing default tables. Listen, my dear friend, I will be sharing this folder for you, this demo BLD file for you. Yeah. Okay, so please, wherever you want, you can place it in the E drive, on D drive, wherever you want, you can place in your system. For time being, I'm just selecting D drive. For time being, selecting D drive, I will share this file through attachment, download, and paste any location of your choice. Any location of your choice. Mind these points very carefully. The time being now, this is already just what your friend just okay. I downloaded or else I placed this demo BLD SQL file in which drive did. Yes, friend. Just after this, I'll be sharing you this file. Now, what you have to do is, friend, in the Oracle, after connecting any user, maybe Scott user or different user, you type like this, @. What is the location of the file? D drive / demo bld.sql. That's enough. It's a script file actually. So you run this one. When you press enter, the script file is executed and all the tables will be created automatically. So please download this attachment in your convenient location. After that, open the Oracle. Then you please type this script file. Just to execute this script file, because all the tables will be coming. Where did you run this script file? In the Scott user, right? So again, just to go to WhatEFN, just a Scott user. I'm going to WhatEFN, just a Scott user, and password is type. Dear friend, if you notice that, just we have all the tables of WhatEFN just okay, available there. There's a lot of tables at there, EMP, salary, bonus. This you will be getting in your system, nothing to that. So, well, just here, there is a one table called EMP. This is one of the predefined table. Describe of EMP, so that you will know what are the columns that exist in the table. Employee number, employee name, job, MGR, hire date, salary, commission, and department. So friend, these are the columns exist in the table. But sir, I want to get the data from these first 3 columns. So please do the experiment you already learned. Select EMP enroll, E-name, job. From which table? From E. That's enough so that you will be getting all the data from the table. I said you this table is having just 14 records. I can show a lot of operations. No, sir, I want to get the data from all the columns. Dear, be careful. Requesting you take it very seriously. I'll write a date. Then I'm writing select asterisk from what EN. So when you press enter, you'll be getting the data from all the columns. Have you noticed one thing? Here, this department number is wrapped to the new line. Department number is what your friend wrapped to the new line. Reason, the width is insufficient to display in a single row. Width is insufficient to display in a single row. Dear friend, lot of technical stuff is there. Observe very carefully. But especially in the number columns, if you notice that salary is the which column? Number column. Commission is which column? Number column. But by default, for all the number columns, by default, for all the numbers columns, Oracle is given default width for numerical columns. Oracle is given default width for numerical columns is what you have just 10. What is the default width provided for numerical columns is what we have friend just 10. But really, do you have that much digit figure? Do you have 10 digit figure value in the column? No. But why that much width? Not required, right? So better adjust the width for the column so that data will be fit in your row. So please observe very carefully. This is what the case. But to know the default width, show num width is the command. When you run this command, it shows you what is the default width for numerical columns. The default width for numerical columns provided by the variable is 10. But do we have really 10 digit figure in the columns? No. Then why that much width? You better adjust with what your friend calls. Then okay, how can we do that? For that, what your friend said, num width is the command. Set num width. I just want to reduce the width to 5. Now I reduce the width for numerical column 10 to what 5. So let me show you this command now. Select asterisk from what your friend EMP so that now the data is fit into this screen. Now width for the numerical column is adjusted to what your friend just 5 only. Moment back. Width for the numerical columns is 10, which is somewhat difficult for in just displaying the content in a single screen. But based on your requirement, just we can set it. Now, I hope you understood why I'm using this table because I want to show you more and more examples on this table. Hope you understood, right? Default width provided for the numerical column. Default width for numerical columns provided by the variable is 10. But if you want, you can adjust the width for the columns, numerical columns, by using set num width to 5. But I'm saying you, my dear friend, whatever I'm teaching you, which is very essential, please, I'm not getting the question. No, just I'm not teaching you complete Oracle. There's a reason. If you are in my Oracle class, that will be different, the scenario, sir. But okay, the timing, just we got an opportunity for you to train on Python. But okay, whichever is very essential for me to train the Python database programming, I'm just teaching. Well, okay, so this is one command we have seen already. Now, this is the time to discuss about distinct class. Distinct class. Kindly understand this one here. This is what your friend just this class is given for you is what your friend distinct. Distinct class. What is the use of this distinct? This syntax you have seen already. After the select, immediately you use the distinct. Come on, dear friend. Just watch on my screen first. Select job from EMP. Select job from EMP. Listen. Okay. So now we'll be getting the data from what your friend that particular column. Select job from EMP. So we'll be getting the data from that particular columns. Have you noticed that here duplicate data is displayed? But what is my idea is I want to display only unique data from a column. I want to display unique data from this column. Ladies and gentlemen, give me 1 second. But in future, definitely once you placed as a developer in the industry, by the time of developing the real-time projects, you have to develop this type of screens like. Example, here is a something like this, my dear friend. You are requested to observe this one. Here is a something like what your friend selected job. Select the job. There is a some drop-down box will be there like this in real-time scenarios. Whenever you click on this drop-down box, select job means it need to display all the jobs which are existed in the table. It need to display what? It need to display all the jobs which are existed in the table. But all the jobs which are exist in the table should be displayed here, right? But okay, this is what real-time scenario. Then how can we do this? Whenever that client is open the application, immediately one screen should open like this. Select a job. It need to display all the job titles. All the job title with a duplicate or without duplicate. Come out here. Duplicate should not be displayed, right? So at that time we should display what are the jobs are there, like clerk. The next one is what your friend salesman. Next one is what manager. Next one is something like president. Next one is what these are the things like. So these are the what your friend salesman, manager, president, and clerk. Analyst is also there. that analyst also need to be displayed. Whenever user click on that particular button, immediately should display only what we have found the particular unique jobs only in that column it should display. But okay, then how can we do this kind of things? Really, this is not that much easy to develop in real time. Friend, just truly speaking that, to develop this type of screen, first of all, you require some what your friend just a HTML knowledge is required. Okay, so to make the beautification, you require again CSS is required. CSS is required. But okay, fine. So not only that, just reading this unique data and binding to this control, you require what you friend just you required some Oracle knowledge is required. We require some Oracle knowledge. First of all, how do I get the unique data? The data is there in the database. Okay, the data we need to gather or we need to capture. After gathering this data, we need to bind this data to HTML controls. But how can we do that? So just toward binding this one, you require what dear friend, you require some Python code again. This is a matter. Just to achieve this small requirement only, you need to have the good experience on HTML, CSS, Oracle, and also what required some Python. But unfortunately, nowadays the people are just learning only Python. I want to settle with the industry. I want to rock the industry like projects like anything. This is a dream. That's okay. Definitely, it is possible in the dreams. But in reality, require a lot of attention. Just as the one small scenario you understood now. I just want to retrieve only unique data. I want to bind it. Binding that is all the future. Like what we have found. This kind of things can be done by using Django. There you people are going to learn this kind of things. Complete structures. Other time, just we need to have HTML, CSS, Python, and Oracle. All these things we will mix it and we will develop an application benefit. Please, my dear friend, don't take light. This is not that saying what I'm saying, right? I don't want like other people. Everything easy. Come on, you can rock like anything. No. Just definitely it will take some time and require some challenges to take to achieve the real-time application. But anyways, timing, just how to achieve this particular requirement, how do I extract this only unique data? When I type this particular command, select a job from EMP, you'll be getting what here, friends, just you'll be getting all the data from the job column along with the duplicates. But I don't want duplicate here. I want only unique data. Please observe this. Select what your friend, just you have to use what your friend distinct job from what your friend EMP. So you'll be getting only distinct data from that particular column. This is what I am saying, dear friend, which is very, very important. So whenever, if you want to eliminate duplicate values from a particular column, if you want eliminate duplicate values from a particular column, so we need to use what your friend distinct class to be used. So distinct class. Hope you understood, right? Just to eliminate duplicate values. By writing that query, you will be getting this filtered data. This filtered data we need to bind to what HTML control. Right? You must require HTML. You require the knowledge on Oracle, and to bind this to, we require the knowledge on Python. So without having this knowledge, but developing the real-time application is fun. That's only the reason I'm telling you here. Don't take that. So well, coming to what here, friend, there is a one more beautiful class is called where class. Now, what is the use of the where class? Observe. I'm going to show you a couple of examples in the where. If you notice the syntax already was given, select distinct is optional. What your friend column or column names. Then what your friend from what table name required to be from table. And after that, what your friend just a where class, where space, and you need to give what your friend condition. Where we need to give the condition, but I'm not talking about still order. We have to discuss. First, get some idea on where class. From just a where, after the where class, you people need to give what your friend condition. Please observe very carefully, guys. This is the case. Now you have a lot of data in this table. Okay, so observe this one. I'm writing what select asterisk from EMP. So, friend, just you have seen a lot of data in this table. So now I want to filter the data from the table based on some condition. One second. Sir, I want employee number, employee name, job. I want to get employee number, employee name, job after I want to get employee number, employee name, job of Mr. Smith. Only Smith the data I want. I don't want all the details of all the employees. Give me 1 second here. If you write like this, select employee number, employee name, job from EMP. So you'll be getting the data from all the, just data from this column from all the employees. Hope you understood it. But I don't want to get all the data of all the employees. But I want to get these three data of Mr. Smith. Yeah, you are requested to notice, select employee number, employee name, job from a what year friend EMP. Then you need to get the where class, where condition. Condition should be what? Where e name. Where you want to apply the filter, where e name equal to what your friend's method. Dear friend, then you will be getting the data from that particular column only. I mean, just getting the data from the particular column for that employee. Hope you understood it. So if you want to filter the data based on certain condition, then we have to use where class. Observe this one, guys. I just want to get all the data of managers. Example, I want to get the data from all the managers on which data you want. Sir, I want like 1 second here. Employee number, employee name, job from EMP. I want to get those three values. Job. I want to get employee number, employee name, job from EMP. Where? Job equal to manager. This is a query. When you press enter, now you'll be getting what you have found only that particular details of the manager's certificate. Friends, just if you want to filter the data based on some condition, you supposed to write it. No, sir. I want to get all the details of manager. Yes, all the details means asterisk from EMP. I want to extract all the details. Select asterisk from EMP where job equal to what you have found just to manage. Hope you understood. So in this particular case, what you will be getting is, you will be getting the data from what you have found all the columns of managers. You can see that employee numbers, name, job, MGR, hire date, salary, commission, and department. For what? For all the what you have found, just only the managers will be getting. So this is the case. Friend, just if you want, you can get the data from the particular columns, or if you want, you can get the data from all the columns. Try like this. Sir, I want to get all the employees whose salary is greater than 2,500. Select asterisk from EMP. I want to get select asterisk from EMP where salary greater than or equals to 2,500. Now you can get, it is filtering all the people who are getting the salaries greater than 2,500. Friend, just if you want to filter the data, or if you want to extract the data based on certain condition, you can use this one. Last two, concentrate or else please move out. Please. Chalo right. Concentrate or else please move out. This is the case. Next session I will talk. Don't worry. We have individual sessions, right? We'll talk there. I know, man, your faces, you're from which batch, I can easily say. Right, okay, don't worry. In the next episode, we'll talk on that. Don't worry. This is the case. Then you can observe this is what your friend select asterisk from EMP, where salary is what your friend 2,500. Whenever you want to retrieve the data from the table based on certain condition, then please use the where class. Where class. When I said you, there's a lot of operations we can do. But when you have huge amount of data, with a little data, we can't do all the operations. Right? We are requesting you to take it very serious. Let me check, sir. Just I want to see the people who are joined on 1st of May 81. I want to see the people who are joined on 1st of May 81. It's not a great deal. What is that column? Hire date. You want to get all the details of the employees who are joined on 1st May 81? Yeah, you are requested notice. Select asterisk from EMP where hire date equal to single quotation. Already said char type, varchar type, date type, values denoted in the single quotation marks. Okay. What is that criteria? First May 18. The people who are joined on that particular date you will be getting. Only person is there on the date. But we have two peoples with the two different dates. Let me check that. That's what your friend, you can go there. So if you want to get the data, simple. This is the way. So based on your requirement, you can use it. That's okay. Going back, this is what this is. Please, you can try with the different cases. I don't want to discuss much examples, more examples, right? But I'm giving slightly, just talk level. Getting some idea. Distinct is a class to eliminate to duplicate values from the particular column. Where is the clause of the select statement used to extract the data from the table based on certain condition. If you want to extract the data from the table based on certain condition, we have to use it, right? There's a lot of conditions you can go ahead. Friend, just here is a one small thing. Like, sir, there is a one small thing. This is one of the craziest thing. I want to get all the implies. Give me 1 second here. Select asterisk from EM. If you notice this, I want to get all the employees who are not getting commission. I want to get the employees who are not getting commission. Here, almost 14 employees are there, but all 14 employees are getting the commission. No, few of them is not getting the commission. But I want to get the employees who are not getting the commission. Let me try. Select what? Asterisk from EMP where commission equal to null. Commission equal to what do you want to get in a result? So kindly notice this, my dear friend. Null values are never compared by using equal operator. Null values are never compared by using equal operator. Naturally, you are done. But in double equal to is meant for programming. Yes. Okay. Here is a single equal. But kindly requesting all null values never compared by using what equal, but rather we have to use the keyword is. Is a null you have to write. Okay. So now you can get the people who are not getting the commission. Please kindly, this kind of crazy things are there, my dear friend. Don't take light. Personally, I requested you very beginning. If anybody is not interested, please move out. That's enough. Don't make the cluster disturb. You have a freedom. You can go out. You're not here for seeing this side, that side, and commenting others and wasting the time. Please respect the class. Not interested, move out. I'm requesting you, please focus. So the null values are what your friend null values are never compared by using what equal operator. Rather, null values are compared by using what your friend just a is keyword. Is Excel actually operator it is. So in Oracle, is an operator that is. But anyways, you understood how to compare. This is the case, right? Hope you understood that. If you want, read the data from the table. Based on certain condition, use what your friend where class. In the select, you understood what is the use of the distinct class. From is a class, where is a class. If you want, read the data from the table. Based on certain condition, use where class. Then what is the use of the order by? Have a look on my screen. This is about what your friend just order by. Just okay. What is the use of the order by? How to work this? My dear friend. Again, just for easy to understand, I want to take only one column for time being. Select ename from EMP. Select ename from EMP means you'll be getting the data from only ename column. Yes, the data from this ename column in sorting order or not in a sorting order. Now this is the data is not in sorting order, but in real time, by the time of producing the output to the client, the data should be in a sorted order. But if you want to produce the data in a sorting order, you have to use order by clause. Okay, order by class. You have to use it. 1 second, dear. So what is the command to be used? It's very simple. Select ename from what your friend EMP. Order by what your friend order by ename. That's it. So you can watch on my screen once again. Now I'm writing select ename from EMP Ordered by what, dear friend? Ordered by E name. Now you can see all the data of that column is sorted in ascending order. This is the case. Moment back, now the data is not in ascending order. But if you want to read the data from the column in ascending order, not only this, sir, now, sir, I want to get this one. Listen here. First understand this. Now descending order I want. Then select E name from EMP ordered by E name. Then you need to give DESC last. Descending order. Let me check this, my dear friend. Going back. This command is something like what? Select E name from EMP ordered by, this is E name, then DESC. Now you will be getting absolutely descending order. So hope you understood, right? Now descending order, right? So if you want to sort the data, you have to use this particular thing. Listen, sir, friend, just observe very carefully again. I am requesting you all. Sir, I want to get a employee number, okay? Employee name, job, and a salary. Based on these salaries, I want sort the report. Based on this salary means highest to least. A person who is getting highest salary should shown first. A person who is getting least salary should be shown at last. Select employee number, employee name, job, salary from which table? EMP table. Okay, just ordered by what? Salary. But one second. Default sorting order is ascending. For numbers, min to max. For date, earlier first. For character type, A to Z. For character type, default sorting order is A to Z. For number type, default sorting order is min to max. For date type, default sorting order is earlier first. Previous date to present date. But based on the salary, it's a number type. So earlier, the person who is getting least salary will stood first. Person who is getting highest salary is displayed last. My dear ladies and gentlemen, here and there some people may think in wrong way. That is what? The data of the salary column only sorted. The data of the salary column only sorted. That is wrong assumption. That is wrong. Absolutely. Based on the salary, records are sorted. Based on the salary, records are sorted. Just for it by just you are requested to see. A person who is getting least salary is Mr. Smith. Person who is getting least salary is Mr. Smith. A person who is getting good salary is Mr. King. Let me sort this in reverse. We'll check that. Right, okay. Select employee number, employee name, job, and salary from EMP ordered by salary DASC. Descending order. Person who is getting good salary is Mr. King, right? Stood first. Person who is getting least salary is Mr. Smith is getting lost. Means it's ordered like last. What I'm saying is based on the column, the records are sorted. But don't think the value of that particular column is sorted. No. Based on the salary column, the records are what your friends sorted. You are requested to observe this. This is the what your friends sort. Very simple. This is what your friends sort. If you want to sort the records like this, sometimes please observe this one, dear friend. I am requesting on little more attention is required. I want employee number, employee name, job, salary of all managers. Let me check. Select what? Employee number, employee name, job, salary from EMP, where job equal to what? Manager. Requesting on. Listen. If you notice this, we filtered only manager data. But in this data, I want to sort the managers based on their salaries. I want to extract the manager's salaries, but manager record should be sorted based on the salary minimum to maximum. Then how can you write it? Select employee number, employee name, job, salary from EMP, where job equal to what? Manager ordered by salary. Ordered by salary. And when just what your friend only will be getting manager records, and that manager records are sorted based on their salary. You can use multiple things. One more important. You are requested to see. Please observe. I want what your friend just managers and the salesmen. I want the managers and the salesmen. Let me get, how do I get managers and salesmen? Only managers and salesmen. Select. I don't want all the data. Employee number, employee name, job, salary from EMP, where job equal to manager. You can also give multiple conditions. Job equal to what if and job equal to sales. 1 second. 1 second. Please, if you notice it, you are getting the details of what if and both the managers and salesmen. You are seeing this data. Now, my idea here in this particular case is, my dear friend, my idea in this particular case is, I want to get all the managers and salesmen. I want to sort the records based on the job. Based on the job. Just let me show that. What is it based on the job? So, first a salesman, then manager. A man who is first a manager, then salesman. Please listen. Then what you want? Employee number. Focus, please. I want to teach you something, please. Employee number, employee, job, salary. From what here from EMP, where job equal to manager or. Well, I'm writing what job equal to what is when job equal to salesman. Wonderful. Job equal to what is when salesman. Then order by job. No. Order by job. Column name you are given. So now you can observe this. Now you'll be getting what here when where job equal to salesman. Maybe mistake is done. Okay, done mistake. Salesman is a mistake. Salesman. And then what you will do? Some people, based on their knowledge, they will again retype it. I'm not commenting because their experience is up to that. Okay, just what, unfortunately, there is a mistake. Some people again they're writing. Assume. I have written some query around the 10 lines or 20 lines. Assume. But unfortunately, somewhere else in the middle of the code, I have done a mistake. Again, you guys are going to write retyping. That's really nasty. Then you please type ED. Editor. Editor will be open like this. In the editor, whatever the modification you want, you can write it. Then go to the file menu. Just what your friend just exit or else say. Then you can go with what your friend exit. Now, is this a modified or not? Modified. But is this a query is executed or not executed? But until unless you execute that query, result won't come, right? Then use the forward slash and execute. Like this, I am saying these many tricks are there in this database as well. Take what I am teaching at least, please. Well, okay, so simple what I am saying. If anything anyways goes wrong in the queries, then immediately you type what your friend ED. One editor will be opened in front of you. There you please make the required modification in it. Go to the file and save and file and exit. And after that, use this forward slash, that query will be executed. Hey guys, now you're seeing, have you seen this, my dear friend? Have you seen, but this moment, what data you're seeing? And here you're seeing that both what your friend salesman and manager details you're seeing and ordered by job. Have you seen the records are sorted based on the job, based on the job. But 1 second here, I want to tell you something interesting here. Okay, have you noticed in this particular case, especially you notice in the salesman records are sorted based on their salaries. No. But records are sorted based on the job, that's it. But sir, in the manager, I want the managers, if you notice, that is fine. In the manager, a person who is getting least salary is displayed in a first position, and the manager who is getting good salary is stood at last position. But in the salesman, the records are not in a sort. First of all, I want to sort the records based on the job, then sort the, after sorting, again sort based on their. You check it out. How can I write it? Please help me out, my dear friend. Select, you can easy. Employee number, employee name, job salary. From EMP, where ED equal to No, where job I think, sorry, where job equal to what? Manager or job equal, again you have to write job equal to what? Salesman ordered by job, comma, salary. You have to give more than two. First records are sorted based on the job. After sorting the record based on the job, then the sorting based on their salaries. You are requested to see. Manager records are sorted based on their salaries. Then what salesman records are sorted based on their salaries. Moment back it was not proper. That is only the reason I am telling you, my dear friend. We can also apply the sorting technique or more than one columns as well. This is very essential for industry operations. Software is not that much easy, my dear friend. Just you need to be scale up your skill space. Otherwise, somewhat tough. Okay, so well, kindly notice this. You can write this one in the different way as well. Can you please help me out? Again, I won't write this one. Guys. I am writing the same party. Yes, I am writing this way. 1 second. First, based on what job? Then based on what salary? Can you please tell me the employee number, which column position it is? Column 1, column 2, column 3, column 4. Rather than writing the column names, you can write just column numbers also. So first is sort the records based on the job, then sort the records based on the salaries. You can check it out now. Is it working fine? That's what I'm telling you. We can make the things very smart. Okay, so if you want, you can give. If you want, you can give the column names, or if you want, you can go with the column names. Will be fine. Numbers also fine. That's the reason I'm telling you. This is about what your friend. I already said you, my dear friend. If I'm taking the regular session, I'll be taking around what your friend just 5 to 7 hours only on the select. There's a lot of things are there to discuss. But I said you very top level, very top level. So just I said you, select is a command to use to what your friend retrieve the data. Select is a command to retrieve the data from the table. And that we understood what is the use of the distinct, where class, order by class. Friend, 110%. There is a question from the panel. What is the first clause, not class, clause? What is the first clause of the select statement? And what is the last clause of the select statement? Mind this is very important. First clause of the select statement is the distinct. Last clause of the select statement is ordered by. What is the first clause of the select statement is what? Distinct. What is the last clause of the select statement is what you find just ordered by. This is all about select. As of now, we learn how to create the table, how to insert the data, how to retrieve the data. So the next one is update and delete. Friend, just after update and delete, 2 other commands are there, which is very crazy. Friend, sometimes lacking of knowledge, you have to face a lot of problems in the industry, and sometimes you need to pay penalty as well because of bad experiences which lead some damage of software. So that's the reason, please take very special care. So just you are requested also. Come on, dear friend. So now I'll be talking about this particular thing. Already we have discussed about this. All this content I'll be sharing with you here. Don't worry about it. So already we have seen. Now this is the time we have to talk about updates. So what is the update? Friends, if you want, make the changes in the records which are already existed. Kindly notice it. If you want, make the changes in the records which are already existed, then go with update. Don't get confused. Alter is different, update is different. Alter talks about the structure. Alter talks about the structure. If you want, make any amendments in the structure, like adding the columns, changing the data type of the column, changing the name of the column, dropping the columns. If you want to talk about, if you want to speak about the structure of the table, then go with alter. No, nobody. I just want make the changes in the records which are already existed. If you want, make the changes in the records which are already existed. Example. Unfortunately, actually I have to enter Sumant. Unfortunately, I have to enter Sumant. Rather, I entered Suman. Suman. But actually what I have to do, I have to insert Suman, rather I entered Suman. Then what is it? No, we want a record, delete the record. No, not required to delete the record. Change the Suman to what? Suman to Suman. That is the reason we'll be going with update. Come on, dear friend, focus a lot. Requesting or take it very serious. The syntax will be like this, my dear friend. Now, okay, command is, then you have to write like this, update. What is the command? Update table name. Update table name. The next one is what? Set. Update table name, set. Then you have to give what your friend just a column name. Kindly notice it here. Easy. Column name. Then what your friend, you need to give the word value. Likewise, you can give a number of columns if required, not to change only one column. If you want, you can update the data existed in what multiple columns at a time. I'll show you a couple of examples again. But you need to give what your friend just where class, here also there. Where class, you need to give the condition. I'll show you a couple of examples so get more clarity, please. Observe very carefully. Sir, actually, my intention is I want update all the salaries of all the employees. Listen, buddy. Select asterisk from EMP. Totally, we have how many records? 14 records. Listen, I want to update all the employee salary with 5,000. I want to update all the employee salary with 5,000. Oh, do one thing. For whom do you want to update? I want to update all the employee salary, not specific. All employees. Then what? Update. EMP. Setter. What do you want to set? Salary equal to. What is that amount? 5,000. That's it. All 14 records are updated. Let me check. Really, these all 14 rows are affected. Select asterisk from EMP. You can check it out. All the 14 employee record salaries are updated to about 5,000. No, sir. Unfortunately. So this is what done by me. No problem at all. So no problem at all. I want to do what, dear friend? I want to cancel the last operation. If you want to cancel the last transaction, do roll back. Unfortunately, I've done wrong operation, wrong transaction. Use roll. So then you can go with back, my dear friend. Select asterisk from EMP. You'll be getting all the data original back. Have you seen this? That's the reason I'm requesting. This rollback is not that much easy. Wait, I'll show you something crazy thing with rollback. Well, gentlemen, I'm requesting you. This is all about your success. Please struggle for today, better future tomorrow. That's enough. See, please, my dear friend, now my requirement is, no, sir, I want update all the salaries with the 2,000. I want update existed salary with the 2,000. Not 5,000. Existed salary with 2,000. Yes. For whom? For everybody? Yes. Okay. Update. Come on. Update EMP. Setter. Salary equal to existed salary plus. Existed salary plus 2,000. To whom? To everybody. How many records are affected? 14 records are affected. 14 records are affected. Means if you want to update the particular records, no 14 records are updated. You want to check, guys, use this command, select asterisk from what EMP, you can check it out. All the salaries are updated. Moment backsmith salary was 800 rupees. Now it changes to 2,800. So all the salaries are updated. My friend, here I want to show you something crazy. Now what is my requirement is, I want to offer commission 3,000 rupees for all the people who are not getting commission. I want to offer the commission with 3,000 rupees who are not getting commission. But okay, just moment, requesting you all. Observe very carefully. Observe very carefully. Please, 1 second. No, or else I want to give the commission. I want to give the commission 3,000 rupees extra for all the employees. I want to give the commission 3,000 extra for all the employees. Can you please help me out? Try. Even if it is wrong, I'll help you out. Come on here, update. I want to check with everybody. Update EMP, set the commission equal to existed commission plus 3,000. 3,000 to everybody, right? Yes, okay. How many rows are affected? Let me check out all employees are affected with their commission. So what you're requested to update with what? To 3,000 rupees. But all are affected with 3,000 rupees. That is what I am telling you. Wait. I said you very clear. I want update all the employees commission with what you have 3,000. Mr. Anivesh, I'm sorry. That's wrong expectation. Give me a moment. So this is 1 second. Sometimes you are getting this type of headaches. But according to you, that is super. No doubt at all. Your query is awesome. But is that working fine? No. You require more knowledge. Ladies and gentlemen, in mathematics you have learned 0 into something is 0 into something 0. But the same fashion in database, whenever you perform any manipulation on the null remains null. If you perform any manipulations on the null remains null. But how to handle this situation? Actually, we requested you people to update all the employees commission with 3,000. Means the person who is getting commission required to be updated plus 3,000. Person who is not getting the commission required to be provided with 3,000. But is this the case is happening with your query is written by you? No. That's wrong. But how to handle this challenge? There's a lot of content is there, my dear friends. We're requesting you to take it very serious. See, but here 4 employees are getting commission, right? 1, 2, 3, 4 employees are getting commission. But remaining other is not getting. Now my requirement is I want update the commission to all the employees who are getting commission or not getting commission as well. Okay, right? Let me do this challenge. This is what the case select. Not select. What do you want to do? Actually, you want to do update. ENP sector. Want to set commission equal to existed commission. But one second. NBL is a beautiful function is given for you to handle the null values. Listen, I'll make you understand. Okay, that means what dear friend commission comma 0. Give me 1 second. This means what you know, my dear friend. If any nulls existed in the commission column, it will substitute 0 logically. What is it? Logically, not physically. Not it won't add 0 into the column. If any null values are existed in the commission column, please put 0. If any nulls are existed. No nulls means don't do anything. Check that commission. Plus what dear friend, what is our idea then? 3,000. Okay, semicolon, that's enough. This is the way. Friend, there's a lot of challenges in writing the coding. Please, it's not that much easy. Please require more updates. Well, just okay. Let me check. Select asterisk from EMP. Have you seen this now? All the employees are affected with the commission. Who are not getting the commission, they are provided with 3,000. Who are already getting some commission, they are updated with 3,000. Extra 3,000. Sir, okay, fine. This is nice. Now this moment, I want to give the 10% increment on the salary, 5% increment on the commission for only managers. Listen, for only managers, but now the condition. First, let me get the employee details. Select asterisk from EMP, where job equal to what? Manager. Listen first. My dear friend, these are the managers with these salaries and commission. But I want that. Give 10% hike on their salaries and 5% commission hike on their. I want to give 5% commission hike on their salaries on commission. 10% on the salary, 5% hike on the commission for the employees who are working as a manager. Come on here, update EMP sector salary equal to salary plus salary into 10 by 100. This is the way you can write. Or you can write 0.1%. You can write however you want, comma. The commission equal to commission plus existed commission into 5 by 100. For everybody? No. Not for everybody. Where? Yes, I'm giving where body of friend, where job equal to. Hope you understood. So when you are giving the where class, that is going to be affected to the particular records which are satisfied by that condition. So now we are not updating all the employees records. We are updating only the manager records. So when I press enter, you can see the 3 rows are updated. Moment back, this was the salaries and commission. And after this query, let me check. Yes, select asterisk from EMP, where job equal to what if in manager. You can check it out. So please kindly compare both the values. That's a moment back without update. This is after update. So the salaries are increment with what 10%, comments are increase with what if in 5%. This is a way, dear all. Say update is a command is meant for changing the values existed in the table. But if you are not giving the where class, that is going to be affected to all the records. If you are giving where class, that is going to be affected with the records which are satisfied by the given criteria. This is about what if in update. You can change any column, but I showed you on examples on salary and commission. If you want, you can change on name, job, anything. 1 second, we'll see on job, please. Guys, listen very carefully. Sir, what is my idea is, I want to get all the employee records. Dear all, I want to do what if in just, I want to change the salesmen's to what if in just like, a salesman's to, or else manager, salesman's to assistant manager. I want to promote all the salesmen as an assistant manager. Okay, then do what? Update. Update, EMP, setup, job equal to, what is it now? Assistant manager. Okay, like assistant manager, 1 second. To whom? Everybody? No. Where job equal to like salesman. What do you think? Just what do you think salesman only? How many salesmen are there? 4 salesmen are updated as a, now they are promoted as assistant manager. Select asterisk from EMP, ordered by job. You know that because I want sort the records based on their jobs. Now, no salesmen in the table. Now, all the salesmen are promoted as a what do you think? Just a, yeah. That's what I'm telling you, friend. Based on your requirement, you can update any column data. You can update 1 column data. You can update what you have multiple column data, however you want. Hope you understood right about the update. Well, friend, there is another command is delete. After delete, I want to cover 2 more interesting commands and I will stop. But the thing is, requesting you, make sure everybody needs to be clear with this concept to understand how to write the programs to interact with how to write the Python programs to interact with Oracle database. In the real time, in future, we'll be discussing about writing the program to interact with what database. Other time, I'll write the programs, not like this. Writing the program to do these operations. You require Python plus Oracle. Then only you can understand the concept. Otherwise, somewhat tough for you guys. Please make your attention levels little more. Okay. So this is about what you find. This is about delete command. Very dangerous. How to delete? We are seeing now. This is a command again. The syntax, guys. This delete command is meant for deleting the record or records from the table. I want to delete a particular employee. Yes. You want to delete group of employees. Yes. Based on some condition, you can go with that. Your syntax is like this. Yeah. Please, after this one, I need 10 or 15 minutes, which is very important. Right, okay. So please, this is what we have found. The command is something like delete from just what we have found, just a table name. Then simple, you already give what you have found just a where condition. Where condition is option mandatory. Option. Square bracket means option. Yes. Let me show you a couple of examples. Be careful. Be careful, please. Listen, dears. Moment back, I have done so many operations using updates. Have you noticed that? So many operations. I changed salesmen as assistant manager. I given all the people commission with 3,000. And after that, I increase the 10% hike on salaries and 5% hike on commission who are working as a manager. I've done a lot of operations and database table using update. Keep that in the mind. Please keep that in the mind. I just want to do something, guys. Friend, just to totally, we have 14 records up there in the table. So now what is my idea here is, I want to remove this gentleman record. I want to delete the employee record whose employee number is 7369. I want to delete employee record whose employee number is 7369. Not a great deal. Delete from EMP, where EMP and row equal to, what is that correct? 7369. You're right, that's 7369. That record is deleted. Okay, we are deleting a record. Kindly understand. We are deleting a record. Observe this. Deleting a record. Perfect. I want to check this. Select a state from EMP. Now you can see 13 records. Moment back it was 14. Now we have seen 13. Focus. Let's just focus. Sir, I want to delete all the manager records only. I want to delete all the managers. Help me out. Delete from EMP where job equal to what? Manager. When you press enter, all the manager records are gone. How many records are deleted? 3 records. Showing you right. Moment back, I said you how to delete a record. Now I discuss with you how to delete group of records. Friends, unfortunately, I deleted some records. Unfortunately, I done some wrong operation. I want to fetch those records back. I want to get those records back. There is a command is called what your friend rollback. Roll, very danger command in the industry, database operations. Very dangerous. Wait, what is our idea? I was deleted for a few records, like 3 records are deleted from the table. Those records, manager records are deleted. What is my idea here is, I just want to fetch those records back. Roll back. Once again, before this, I want to check, select asterisk from me. There's how many records here? Well, okay, so what is our idea? I want to get it back. What is the command? Roll back. Success. Rollback is done. Have you seen that? Select asterisk from EM. What is your idea? Your idea is to fetch only the records which are deleted. Moment back. I deleted 3 managers. I want to fetch those back. But you are seeing, not only the 3, and also Mr. Smith is also key. And not only this, whatever the updates you have done, that's also gone. Are you checking? Yes. A moment back, we changed salesmen to assistant manager. They came as a salesman. But in your idea, in your brain, just you're always thinking, whatever the records are deleted are taken back or not. That's it. You felt very happy just because the records are came back. But you don't see the others. There's a lot of loss is done. That is the reason why I'm telling you. So one of the very dangerous command, rollback. While working with the rollback, you should have a lot of concentration, lot of knowledge too. But this is wrong operation, absolutely. A little bit, but I just want to explain some other commands. Give me some time. Maybe you are smart enough with the knowledge. I expect that. But okay, let me explain my experience. Okay, let it be. But anyways, you got those records back. But rollback is very dangerous. So I want to delete all the employees who are working as what managers we are seeing. I want to delete all the records from the table. How can I get it back? So no. Just to delete the from EMP as simple as. Now all the records are deleted. Let me check this. We have select asterisk from EMP. 14 records are there. I just want to delete all the records. Delete from EMP because I didn't give the weight loss. If you give the weight loss, whatever the records are satisfied by the condition, the records will be deleted. But we didn't give any condition. Now this moment all the records are gone. Let me check. Select asterisk from EMP. No rows. No, sir. I want to get those records back. Do roll back. Roll back. That's enough. Then you can check it out. Then again you have seen all those records back. But this is what simple. I can close this session, my dear friend, here itself. But no, I don't want to, because there is one of the very interesting thing you need to understand: rollback and commit. I just want to teach these two commands and I'll stop the discussion. But please pay more attention. So as of now, we understood almost code operations done: creating, inserting, updating, retrieving. Retrieving is nothing but reading, select, and delete. At least give me some 10 to 15 minutes time, which I want to cover. Very interesting. Rollback and commit, very dangerous commands too. Please give me my dear friend. So this is what actually in this concept you need to understand what is a transaction. In interview, they'll ask you this question. Fix it. What is it? What is the transaction number one? Can you please explain about the type of transactions in the Oracle? Number three, when transaction will start, when transaction will end. I'm sure some of the people who have completed their graduation from computer science and IT, even they don't know about the answer for this question, I'm sure. Yes. But in their curriculum, they're having some knowledge on database like DBMS or something. One structured semester is there. Web technologies. In the web technologies, as a part of their web technologies, the faculty will teach DBMS. Most probably, they will teach MySQL, I think. But very fortunately, in the industry, we are using Oracle. Do you know the reason why? I just want to tell you. Then just give me time, I'll give good content for sure. I need the time and your concentration, seriousness. I will give you success for sure. But gentlemen, in the industry, moment I said you actually SQL, but truly speaking that there's no technology like SQL, there's no technology like, of course, no SQL technologies are there. But in the industry, we have called it as RDBMS. Whatever the technologies I said you like, Oracle, MySQL, SQL Server, DB2, Paradox, Informatics, Postgres. Okay, these all are what your friend, all these are RDBMS softwares. Relational Database Management Systems. My dear friend, but actually one small point I want to share with you. I don't want to take much, but there's a lot of content to discuss. And I'm talking about RDBMS. But in fact, RDBMS is nothing but actually set of rules. RDBMS is nothing but set of rules given by Mr. Okay, this is what your friend just Dr. E.F. Kurtz. Yes, sir, forget. So Dr. E.F. Kurtz is a gentleman actually Kurtz. So just RDBMS is nothing but Relational Database Management System is a set of rules given by Dr. F. Kurtz. He is the gentleman actually from IBM in the year of 1970s. In the 1970s, this gentleman is given 12 rules to the open market. If any database software company, in any database, if any database vendors develop their databases by achieving those rules, those all databases are comes under RDBMS action. Dr. E.F. Kurtz, he is the father of RDBMS. He is the gentleman from IBM in the 1970s. He was published 12 rules to the market. If any database company or vendors that develop their databases by achieving those rules, those all the databases are comes under RDBMS. But very, very fortunately, if any database software company, any database vendors develop their databases by achieving minimum 6 rules, then those databases fall into RDBMS. But very unfortunately, none of the database vendors are achieved the 12 rules. But only the database vendors who achieve the maximum rules is Oracle 11 out of 12. 12 rules is given by Dr. E.F. Kurtz. But all the 12 rules, 11 rules out of 12 rules is achieved only the company's Oracle. That is the reason why Oracle is considered as strongest RDBMS. Strongest? As a reason, we are requesting you learn Oracle. First priority. That is from SQL category. No SQL category, MongoDB, which is very essential for project level. That's all up to you, friend. I'm not insisting. That's best of my knowledge I'm sharing with you. Right. Well, now anyways, you understood, right? RDBMS means most of the people are saying that RDBMS means relational database management system. There's a dual rules. Sometimes, unfortunately, you are not that much lucky enough. Please avoid these rules. The panel may ask you, dear friend, can you please tell me the rules, doctor? Okay, please tell me the code rules. Unfortunately, the people who are learning databases, even they doesn't know at least 5-6 rules also. But they completed Oracle. They're writing in the resume, good in the Oracle. As a person in the panel, they're asking, can you please tell me the code rules? Code rules? We know only Oracle. We don't know code rules. Without knowing the code rules, and how did you complete your Oracle? I'm sorry, my dear friend, this is what exactly is happening in the real time. So, okay, this is all up to you. I'm not talking about all the rules and all. It's taking 2 to 3 hour session again for me. Right, okay. But no, but in that, the panel, definitely they'll ask you, what is the transaction? Explain about the types of transaction. Number 3, when transaction will start, when transaction will end. I'll give some idea about this one because I just want make you guys to understand commit and rollback effectively. I just want to close the discussion after these 2. Please, my dear friend, this is all about your career. 110% they'll ask this question. Please realize yourself what is already happened to your career in your academic. I'm not commenting because they may not have the time to cover all these things. Maybe. Right, okay. What is a transaction? Dear all, transaction is an operation. Transaction is an operation which is performed against database tables. Transaction is an operation which is performed against database objects. Database objects. Once again. I'm sorry, my dear friend. Database objects means most of the people know only table. No. Database objects means this one. Tables, views, synonyms, sequence, clusters, index, lot moves. Okay, but anyways, time being, what do you mean by transaction? Transaction is an operation which is performed against database objects. Timing for you tables. That's okay. Please, guys, transactions are 2 types. Save the time. My dear friend, focus, please. I need this 10 minutes, very important. Very important. That's all one side. These 2 are one side. Take very seriously. Transactions are 2 types, my dear friend. There is something like DDL transactions. Number 2 is DML transactions. DDL transactions, DML transaction. My dear friends, actually DDL, last one, concentrate. That person with the hairband, Tamudu, just you can check it out. Chosen already. Hairband pedutunnadu, kanpichu. Nenne, yeah, nice. He says, no, nothing's. ఎందుకంటే హీరో అయిపోతూ get class. He says, focus say. DDL transactions and what is your friend DML transaction? Okay, so what do you mean by DDL means data definition language. Actually, the abbreviation is data definition language. Commands are something like create, alter, drop, truncates. These commands are called DDL commands. These commands are DDL commands. Take it very seriously, my dear. Transactions are classified how many types? 2 types. One is what DDL transactions, DML transaction. DDL transaction means what? I'll tell you later. First of all, you need to know DDL commands means what? Create, alternate drop trend. DML means data manipulation, data manipulating language. Data manipulating language commands are insert, or update, or delete. Some people are telling like, the select. Select is also what DML. No, it is not DML. That is actually called DRL. Data retrieval language command. That is actually select. I need 10 minutes solid, please. 10 minutes. Please, more input. What is a transaction? Transaction is an operation which is performed against database objects. How many types of transaction? Two types of transaction. Detailed transaction, DML transaction. So now, what are the detailed commands? Create, alter, drop, or print. What are the DML transactions? DML commands. DML commands are insert or updated. Up to this is okay. I'm requesting you all. Now this is the time. What is the DDL transaction and what is the DML transaction? Please focus. DDL transactions are one. Come on, buddy. DDL transactions are one. In which DDL transactions are one. In which Oracle engine will treat. DDL transactions are one. In which Oracle engine will treat every individual DDL command as a transaction. Every individual DDL command as a transaction. Focus, please. DDL transactions are one in which Oracle engine will treat every individual DDL operation is a one transaction. What do you mean by DML transaction? Buddy, concentrate. DML transactions are one in which Oracle engine will treat any irrespective group of DML operations are considered as a transaction. Confused? I repeat. DDL transactions are one in which Oracle engine will treat every individual operation. Every individual DDL operation is a one transaction. DML transactions are one in which Oracle engine will treat any irrespective group of DML operations as a one transaction. I'll show you, my dear friend. Watch on my screen, please. I created one table as a first operation. I alter as a second operation. I have done with what your friend drop as a third operation. Friend, every individual DDL operation is considered as individual transaction. This is one transaction. This is considered one transaction. This is considered one transaction. That is DDL transaction. DDL transactions are one in which Oracle engine will treat every individual DDL operation is a one transaction. Last one, concentrate. That's the case. Right, okay. DML transactions are one in which any irrespective group of DML operations as a one transaction. Meaning, listen. 3 records are inserted by me. After that, 5 records are deleted by me. 5 records are deleted by me. Now, how many operations are done by me? 2 operations. 3 records are inserted and 5 records are deleted. These 2 operations are considered as one transaction. Hope you understood it. Murthy, 1 second. See guys, 3 records are inserted by me. Next one, 5 records are updated by me and 3 records are deleted by me. 3 records are deleted by me. How many operations are done by me? 3 operations are done. But all these 3 operations are DML or DDL? DML. Thus, these are considered as one transaction. Now you get the clear idea. DDL transactions are one in which Oracle engine will treat every individual operation as a one transaction. DML transactions are one in which Oracle engine will treat group of DML operations as a Hope you understood right. Just now you are requested to see. Now I am talking about rollback. What is a rollback? No, rollback is a transaction control language command. Rollback is a transaction control language command which is used to, listen buddy, which is used to cancel lost transaction. Which is used to cancel. Chip, what you mean by rollback? Rollback is a TCL command, transaction control language command, which is used to cancel what here? Last transaction. Very simple. Now you are requested to see. I'll see the scenario. I'll tell you scenario you can understand. Dear, observe. Requesting you, dear. Take it seriously, please. This is the case now. My dear friend, now three records are, listen, three records are deleted by. How many records? Three records are deleted. After that, 5 records are updated by. 5 records are updated by. And after that, see if I use rollback, what is happen? What is happen if I use rollback? This is what we have found. This complete operation will be cancelled. Whatever the records are updated by you, that will be cancelled. Whatever the records are deleted by you, those records will be taken back. Hope you understood why it is happening like this. Because they are DML. DML considered as a one transaction. What do you mean by rollback? Rollback is used to cancel last transaction. No matters how many operations are done. It will matters only DDL transaction or DML transaction. Now you guys got the point? Check it out one scenario. Let me go with that. Please, dear, very important. So just 3 records are, okay, 3 records are updated by me. Again, 5 records are deleted by me. And 6 records are inserted by me. 6 records are inserted by me. All these 3 operations are DDL or DML. Oh, all 3 are DDL or DML. DML commands are treated by the system as a. Any irrespective group of DML operations are considered by the system as a. But actually, my idea in brain is whatever the records are inserted by me that is wrong, I just want to cancel that. Okay? Whatever the records are inserted by me, understood that is wrong entries, I just decided to cancel them. Then immediately what you people are using, you crazy ladies and gentlemen, using what? Rollback. What is happens then? Now whatever the records which are inserted, that records are gone. Whatever the records are deleted, the records came back. Whatever the records are updated by you, got cancelled. But actually you felt that only the last inserted records are gone. No. This is what exact the problem is happened with the rollback. Catching the point? Give me 1 second, but 1 second. I want to give you some scenarios because in the interview, the people will ask you, assume, they are telling like this, assume 5 records are deleted, 10 records are updated, 20 records are inserted. If I use rollback, what is happens? Okay. If you use the rollback, all the operations will be cancelled. If you are real smart enough, you are real good enough in content. Or else, sir, whatever the records we are deleted last now, that will be getting back, sir. You can watch. Ouch. Very dangerous thing, baby. Now there is a one more command. Hey, listen. I'm requesting you. Now 3 records are deleted. 3 records are deleted. After deleting, so just to know what is my requirement is, or else just here I used what here friend commit. There is a one more beautiful command is there called the commit. Commit is also transaction control language command, TCL command, which is used to make the transaction permanent. Which is used to make the transaction permanent. That means once the transaction is committed, rollback does not work. Once the transaction is committed, rollback does not work on it. Meaning, sir, I done 3 records are deleted. After use commit, if I use rollback, what is happen? Nothing will be. The deleted records cannot be taken back again. No way, they are committed. Hope you understood, right? Commit is a command used to make the transaction permanent. Once the transaction is committed, rollback does not works on it. Rollback does not works on it. 1 second. I'll show them practically. Yes, you are requested to observe now. Please take it very seriously because very important here. This all are very crazy. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, nothing, no transactions done it. I am doing fresh transaction now. This is the case. Now, what is my intention is, please observe very carefully. First operation, I want to update all the employees commission with 3,000. Updated EMP commission with the 3,000. Now, what is happened? All the employees, sorry, set is missed. This is what your friend just updated EMP. Set that. All commission with what your friend 3,000. When you press enter, now all 14 records are updated. First operation. Second operation, listen. First operation, what is done then is updated all 14 records. 14 records are updated. All employees commission with 3,000. Sir, after that, I want to delete manager records. Delete from EMP where job equal to manager. This is the second operation. This second operation is also DDL or DML? DML. First operation is what? Or just I updated. Then second operation is what? Deleted. These two operations are DDL or DML? DML. Want to leave, dear friend, select asterisk from DEP. It's another table. I want to insert one record in this table. Insert into DEP table. Values. Department number 99. That's what your friend maths. And location is Hyderabad. Totally, I have done 3 operations. First, I update all the employees commission with 3,000. Second operation, I deleted all the managers. Third operation, I inserted one record into the DEP table. I have done all the 3 is DML or DDL? DML. All DML transactions are considered by the system as. Now, rollback is a command used to make the transaction cancel. Rollback is a usable. Rollback is a command to cancel the last transaction. Let me check. Rollback. What is different? Whatever the record is inserted by you in the DEPT table, that is gone. Whatever the records are deleted by you, manager records are came back. And whatever the commissions you updated, that is cancelled. Hope you answered right. Okay, this is what the case you need to answer. But one thing, again observe this one. Deleted from EMP where job equal to manage. Job equal to. Now, manager records are deleted. No managers. But I am using what your friend commits. After deleting manager records, I have done with commit. After commit, let me take roll back. It's saying that rollback is completed. But let me check. Select asterisk from EMP. Order by job. Order by job. Manager record should be there or should not be? Should not be. Then 6. Hope you understood. So what do you mean? See, commit is a command to make the transaction permanent. Once the transaction is committed, rollback does not work on it. Up to this is clear? Last 2 minutes. Commit is a command to make the transaction permanent. Rollback is a command to cancel what? Last transaction. What do you mean by transaction? Transaction is an operation which is performed against a database table. Transactions are classified into how many types? 2 types. Number 1, DDL transactions, DML transactions. DDL transactions are 1 in which Oracle engine will treat every individual DDL command as a one transaction. DML transactions are 1 in which Oracle engine will treat any irrespective group of DML operations are considered by the system as a transaction. What do you mean by rollback? Rollback is a transaction control language command used to cancel a last uncommitted transaction is right answer. It's okay. Last uncommitted transaction because once the committed the transaction ends, it can't be cancelled. Hope you can got the point. What you mean by commit? Commit is a command, again 3CL command, used to make the transaction permanent. Once the transaction is committed, rollback does not work. Hope you understood. Now I have one question. If you answer this question, you really got the point very clear. Or else I need to update you again. No problem at all. I will take the challenge. Allow this. Hey, check it out. Hey, this is not the question. These all are the questions which are faced by me in the Oracle company. I was worked for Oracle for a couple of years. That's the reason I'm talking about all these things. Be careful. That's okay, but mostly I'm engaged in triple IT with Python and Java. I'm not getting the opportunity to train you on the Oracle. Otherwise, I'll blast this concept like anything. Don't worry. So this is what we have friend. Now 3 records updated. Careful. 5 records are deleted. After that, I was created one table. This is what I have done. One table is created. After that, after that, I used rollback. What is that? What is happen if I use rollback? The create operation only cancelled or all the 3 are cancelled? Louder. These 2 are DDL or DNF? D and L. Consider as one transaction. Okay. This is what DDL is. DDL command is one individual command is considered as a what is a rollback? Rollback used to cancel the transaction. I said you very clear last uncommitted. Last transaction means this one only cancelled, right? But in reality, nothing will be happening. Nothing will be happen. Reason, there is a one top secret is there. What is that secret, Mama, all DDL are auto committed. All DDL are what your friend auto commit. Auto commit. So whenever you use any DDL command, automatically commits. Thus, rollback does not work on DDL commands. Why the rollback does not work on DDL commands is a question again in interview. All DDL commands are automatically committed commands. Thus, rollback does not work on it. Is my point clear? They'll ask you this type of crazy questions, guys. But give me one more second. So this is what we have in same scenario. So 3 records are deleted. Now 5 records are what we have in 5 records are updated. And one table is created. One table is what you have in one table is created. And just after that I record 5 records are deleted. Then if I use rollback, what is happens? This is not going because this operation only what we have cancelled. Is it okay? Got the point? This is the case. Rollback is a command used to cancel the last uncommitted transaction. All DDL commands are automatically committed or not automatically committed. So I will try one small example on that. And after that, I want to give one small secret again and I will stop the discussion. I have a lot of things to share, but okay, time me. Listen, you can observe this. Please give me 2 minutes. Listen, ready? Okay, so I want to create one table. Create a table SS info 1. SS info 1. What is that? SNO number 3. I don't want only one column I define. That's enough. Now table is created. Want only. Let me check. Select asterisk from tab. SS info is there. SS info 1. I want to do what roll back. Roll back. The table created table is deleted or not? Never. Never. The created table is never going to be deleted from what you have in tab. Still there. Final question from the panel. DDL commands are automatically committed, true or false? DDL commands are automatically committed, true or false? DML commands are automatically committed, true or false? DML commands are automatically committed, true or false? Can you make DML commands as a automatically committed commands?
Yes.
Answer is yes, by using Have you understood my question? What is the question? Can you make DML commands as a automatically committed command? Answer is you said yes, sir. But you said commit, I don't understood. Commit is a command to make the transaction become a permanent. But I want to make DML commands also automatically committed command. The rollback should not work on them as well. Oh, crazy. Rollback should not work on DML as well. That's the question from the panel. Answer is absolutely yes, my dear friend. We can by using set auto commit on. Set auto commit on. When you set auto commit on, all the commands are automatically commits. Meaning, I want to delete, select asterisk from EMP. So I want to delete all the salesmen now. Then delete from EMP where job equal to what? Salesman. Oh, salesman records are deleted or not? Deleted. And I have seen something. Let me check. Listen. Let me check. No salesman. Deleted. I want to do rollback. But are those records taken back? No. Reason, we made all the commands are what your friend just automated. DDL commands are automatically committed by default. DML commands are not automatically committed by default. If you want, you can also make the DML commands also automatically committed command by using set auto commit on. Hope you all guys got very clear idea about what is the rollback and commit. But still something is there. Okay, so that your expected faculties will cover you in the expected chapters in the databases. But okay, so just to know in this session, we had very clear idea about to perform all iCurve operations. The people from online, are you all okay with this, my dear friend? Can you please confirm by typing super clear in the chat box? Guys, are you all okay? Do you have any question? I just want to check with everybody. Okay, offline guys, thank you very much for your support and cooperation. Are you all okay? I'll stop the discussion. See you in the next meeting in your regular times. Next meeting in your regular times. Thanks a lot. See you all. Bye-bye. Happy weekend. See you all, my dear friend. Thank you all. Bye. Thank you very much. See you all.